Forget what you knew. Welcome to the motherfucking battlefield.
I two-step with Lucifer, and ever since I started dancing, I walked the fine line between Einstein and Charles Manson. Starved this famine with my stomach growling, like someone shouting 100,000 times louder than thunder pounding. Fuck around and I'll punch your mouth in. I'm king of the mountain with my life in this project like it's public housing. Counting on the fact I firebomb entire songs and won't stop till the world's inside my palm like Viacom. Diabolic, I'll supply the higher wattage via fiber optic wire till you acquire some kind of knowledge. Cause life made me grow wiser than old timers, hot-headed like the Ghost Rider behind a slow driver. Soul survivor, flowing live is second nature, so don't test. It's best to save your breath like respirators. I throw a punch at your ribs that gives your lungs asthma and has you pouring out your guts faster than Dutch masters. Drunk bastard, past the point of no return like Denzel, tricking Ethan Hawke into smoking Sherm. Judgment overturned, holding court like Mordecai. Immortalized when I make statues bleed and portraits cry. I'll go to war for mine, rebel army, guard the border. I'm in the trenches barking orders like I'm Sergeant Slaughter. Pray to Jesus H for mercy and plead your case, cause on the front lines you're dead the second that you see my face.
This is the front line, this is the dead zone. Barely alive or in a box, that's how you head home. This is the front line, this is the life that I chose. I thought I told you motherfuckers to lock and load.
This is the front line, this is the dead zone. Barely alive or in a box, that's how you head home. This is the front line, this is the life that I chose. I thought I told you motherfuckers to lock and load.
They said that the success of my music was theoretic, but my revenge is sweet enough to murder diabetics. Eugenics, Procter & Gamble, credit racial science. Couldn't produce a more aggressive intellectual giant. Nephilim, bury him with the bullets left in him. My heart is blacker than the children of Thomas Jefferson, blacker than back in the days of the tar and feathering. A cancerous endocrine, the ego last American, the hatchet and the sticks, the fascist emblem. You could call it conspiracy theory, I don't give a motherfuck. You could get your motherfuck. National security's a cold word for cover up. Hold that down, I look at character, never let the color get to you. I got white revolutionaries like Muslims in Chechnya, percussion thumping like the Russian mafia over you. But even they know what it's like when you fighting for Svoboda. So whether Slavic or Islamic, vodka, gin tonic, drunken fantasies are cool, son. But here's the grim logic: you niggas wanna play industry and start to be rich until they fuck you for millions. Like Paul McCartney's bitch, my lions live inside a box like Jumanji. Sick niggas that'll stab you up like Indira Gandhi. So never desecrate the space on which I meditate. My thoughts rip through tank armored metal plates and start to resonate to the spot where Moses caused the sea to separate. The place that the prophet Muhammad started to levitate. The exact moment that Jesus rose set awake and stood harder, became the Buddha that regenerates. Half a bar over, but I bring it home colder than dead soldiers. So controller, holder of knowledge, so fuck Dianetics. I'm like the whole librarian Kemet with Anunnaki genetics.
This is the front line, this is the dead zone. Barely alive or in a box, is how you head home. This is the front line, this is the life that I chose. I thought I told you motherfuckers to lock and load.
This is the front line, this is the dead zone. Barely alive or in a box, is how you head home. This is the front line, this is the life that I chose. I thought I told you motherfuckers to lock and load. Yeah, motherfucker, immortal technique, diabolic. This is the front line, the people first one time. 32 and a little something. 33 degrees, motherfucker. Go home and figure it out.
All right, good evening, everybody. What's going on? Another day in paradise. And the title of this stream is The One Drop Rule in the Attack on Mixed Children. Mulatto children specifically. But of course, we're going to see the specificity when you analyze some of these posts, most of these posts, not some, most of them, that we see over on X in the white nationalist circles. They're specifically highlighting and targeting the mulatto children. those that have white moms specifically. They're not talking about black children or any other group of children. They're specifically targeting mulatto children. Okay. We're going to talk about that on this stream. And before that, though, I'm going to go into a little bit of commentary as far as the one drop rule. There's some comments that I received that I want to share with you guys. But initially, who do you see on your screen? You see the Dragon Ball Z character Gohan. That's his name, Gohan, which in the Japanese language, Gohan is funny. It kind of translates, it means a meal or like a bowl of rice, a plate of rice. That's what the translation Gohan is. Kind of interesting. Yeah, it means a meal in the Japanese language, but this is the name of the character in the animated series Dragon Ball Z. And this is Gohan in his kind of advanced form. He has like blonde hair. Normally his hair is black, right? And but here you see he has kind of an aurora rays around him, electricity, and his hair is like gold. This is what they call the Super Saiyan form. I love Dragon Ball Z. You guys see a lot of my intros. I share clips of Dragon Ball Z and stuff. So I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. I mean, I fell in love with it ever since I was like 11, 12 years old. And it's funny because it was this season, or they call it sagas in Dragon Ball Z, the anime. Back when I was a kid, early 2000s, the Cell saga. It was on Cartoon Network, Toonami. They hosted, I remember watching this exact season or saga, the Cell, they call it the Cell games, the Android saga, Cell saga. And I've always resonated with this character you see on the screen, Gohan, because in the series, he was like the same age as I was when I first started watching, which is, I think he's about like 12 years old right here in the image you see. And when I first started watching the series, he was, yeah, I was 12. We're like the same age. So it's instant connection. Not only that, there was also a subtle nuance to why I connected and resonated with this character, right? And it's because Gohan is a hybrid. Gohan represents represents a hybrid. That's the basis and function of his character, and he's interesting because he's the strongest character in the whole Dragon Ball lore. He has what they call this hidden power. This hidden power. That's the whole premise of the lore in Dragon Ball, and he's a hybrid. I didn't figure that out till, I mean, I always knew he was hybrid, right? Mixed per se, but as you kind of develop, become more mature, you start to reflect back on your childhood and you realize, why is it that I connected with the character? I liked the character. What was it that resonated? And it makes perfect sense now. It makes perfect sense now. Yeah. Just to lay it out there for you guys, those of you who don't know, because there was I received a comment on my last stream because I played a Gohan clip. He was fighting Cell, and the lady, South African lady, put a comment about, oh, that Cell represents the Bantus, and stop trying to blackwash Dragon Ball. I don't know what the hell she was talking about. She said, stop trying to blackwash Dragon Ball Z. I don't know what. I don't understand how you get that from me. I'm not. I'm sure I shared Gohan because, I mean, this is my favorite character and he represents hybrids. And Trunks as well. Trunks is another character. Where basically in the lore, it's half humanoid and half monkey, because the Saiyan race, they are a monkey race. One of their powers, they're literally they're literally great apes. And one of their powers is when they look at the full moon, they can transform into gigantic monkeys. That's literally part of the lore in Dragon Ball Z, even starting from Dragon Ball, right? Goku, Vegeta, all the Saiyans. And that's why you see sometimes I kind of mock some of the hecklers in the chat. I'll play the Frieza clip and you'll see where he's referring to, maybe I can just kind of pull it up right now. I could have had it prepared. Let me see if I can pull this up. I play the Frieza clip where Frieza is referencing Goku, right? As an ape. He says, "You dare mock me, ape," right?
dare mock me, ape?
Right? Just so you guys kind of understand the lore a little bit. But I just wanted to highlight that with Gohan and why I resonate with the character because some lady, South African, put a comment. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm fully well aware why I share Gohan clips and stuff like that as intros because I like the character and I feel like he symbolizes us in a lot of ways. Has hidden power, unleashed power that could be unleashed, potential to be the strongest in the universe, right? He's a hybrid, and we can literally latch on and draw inspiration from these characters. You know, made up, whatever you call it, fiction, that's fine, but regardless, there is a message there. There is a message there. I just want to share that with you guys. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So let's get right into it. Firstly, I want to share this comment that I saw over on TikTok from a biracial dude. And check this one out. So it's a biracial Floridian is the channel. I think he updated his channel name. Not sure. This is in reference to the one drop rule. He puts here, black people don't like biracial people being considered their own race or us having our own race term because it excludes them from us. Yeah, precisely. Right. It's very sad and unfortunate, but we're going to have to continue to talk about it. Right. Because this is, you know, you have to break the chains of Blackistan. And the people over here in my camp or supporters, whatever, they understand that. But Blackistan, they have a vested interest in keeping you under their influence. And they're against and when you, that's why I stress the term mulatto for me, because of specificity, because also historically, documentation, anthropologically, just historically, mulatto was an independent category from black in all the Spanish colonies and the British colonies, etc. In the New World and even in Old World in Africa and other places. So when you say mulatto, it's distinguishably different and independent from black. And they know that. That's why blacks, a lot of them, they're offended by it. You know, when you call yourself a mulatto, it means you're saying you're a mule. It's like, okay. Why do you people call yourselves niggas? Well, let's ask the real questions. They shut the fuck up immediately. They have nothing to say. They're not offended by the fact that you're saying mulatto or its perceived, meaning. They don't care. These people call themselves dogs every day. What up, my dog? And what up, my bee, my bitch? Like, these people don't give a damn, okay, about the semantics and all that. What they're offended by is that you're distinguishably identifying yourself independently from them. You're saying, I'm not like you people. See, because they want to be able to tell you you're not like them. They want to exercise that power and influence to outgroup you. They want to be able to kick you out in and out of blackness. But when you do that to them, when you're like, look, you're right, I'm not like you people. Go over there, I'll be over here. They have an issue with that. They have a hard time dealing with that. So, and then when you use the term biracial, which is more innocuous, more kind of socially acceptable, I get it. The first thing blacks are going to tell you is, well, there's many different kinds of biracials. If you say you're biracial, what about these biracial over there, right? So they purposely want to confuse you. They want to bring their slave mentality and their confusion onto you. They want to muddy the waters purposely. That's why when you say mulatto, like you shut down the whole like the confusion and the BS conversation, you shut it down immediately. You get straight to the points, straight to the history. Okay, let's focus on policy moving forward. Because you get into this circular discussion when you talk about this biracial stuff. The whole thing is they want to keep you underneath them, where they have power and influence over you. There's many different kinds of biracials. What if you're, Asian and white? Oh yeah, they're Hapa. They acknowledge that, right? But see, because they don't have African descent. So the blacks are not like, they can't use the same gaslighting tactics and strategies on Hapas or other biracial configurations. It's only specifically the mulattoes specifically that they want to gaslight. Not so much Blasian or other kind of configurations, they do try to pull this crap with the Afro Latinos. And we can use a case study, for example, like with what they do with Dominican people, right? They try to gaslight the hell out of Dominican people with the whole me no black kind of joke that the blacks will use, right? So they do that with people that have African descent. It's the weaponization of the one drop rule, which is an outlawed rule. It has no legal standing today. Like the only people who love that quote unquote rule, okay, it's not a rule or law I'm going to follow or respect it, are black identified mulattoes because they want, a seat at the table in Blackistan, and then black people who want mulattoes as a subordinate class. This is it, you know. If you guys beg to differ, let me know. So let's see. It says having our own race term. We do have our own race term, mulatto. But a lot of, like I said, a lot of these biracials, they don't want to accept it. They want, they want to make things difficult. They'll come up with all these other crafty terms, which is fine. Go ahead and do it. But you guys already know from day one, past 2 years over here, what we do. This is the mulatto zone or mulatto community, is all kind of, highlight. It says they need to copy and be a part of everything we do. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, yeah. Because you, like, all their wins are attached to you, right? They can't fucking claim Charles Drew. They can't claim Thurgood Marshall, all these military generals throughout history. You got blacks trying to claim, they did a movie recently with Chevalier, who was a general like in the French army during the French Revolution. You got blacks trying to claim like Hannibal in Rome. Like they're trying to claim all these mulatto generals who changed history, like Vicente Guerrero out there in Mexico fighting for Mexican independence. Like they're trying to claim all these mulattoes around the globe is saying they're just a black, right? They claim all your fucking wins. And then they sit here today, dance around like idiots to Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. And so we're sitting there, the men are looking around like, wait, what? Yeah, I mean, you have to laugh at what the situation we're in right now. You have to laugh, but at the same time, be productive, share the history, and advocate for cohesion. And they consider us them and them us. Yes, they consider you their punching bag. They consider you their subordinate class, a utilitarian class. And like what gave me passion and energy to make content and to bring my ass up here and blab my mouth is because a lot of these pro whacks have been super fucking cocky the past, several years, a few years, for sure, a few years. A lot of these individuals have been super cocky. They jump on, social media, spreading all the conspiracies and don't trust mulattoes and all this shit. But then they'd also be like, well, you don't have a place to belong to. See, the whites ain't going to accept you. Shit, I'm a black. I'm pro whack. I don't got to accept you. I'm like, bet. I don't want you people, your acceptance. I'm not part of you people. You're not my people. I was like, bet, let me do my own thing. Let me start my own shit. And yeah, it's going to start small. I'm looking at the long term. I know if I invest and put energy and time into this, it's going to grow inevitably because the numbers warrant it. The time, the environment we're in, it's only going to grow. Once people find this, they'll suppress it for sure. Shadow ban, all this stuff, right? It's going to grow. But when I would hear these people like publicly say this crap, oh, you biracials, you're lost and confused, or you don't belong to no race, you have nowhere to go. I'm like, oh, bet. Now I got a mission in life. You people inadvertently inspired me with a life mission realize, galvanize people to get the fuck away from them. These aren't your friends. They're not your people. Okay. They're telling you, you got to just put up with their black ass. I don't. I mean, that's what they're basically saying, right? In kind of layman's terms, when they're talking about you don't belong nowhere, the whites don't accept you. What they're saying is you got to put up with my black ass, accept the deal that they give you, which is they want to bastardize biracial women, all these mixed women, Mulatta, biracial, Creole, whatever the hell they are. Got bastard kids. They got black baby daddies. They're not married, but they got kids from a black man. Okay, congratulations. And so they want to keep that arrangement, but to the males, the mixed males, they want you to be a subordinate, like fighting for them to be in their group. It's really a fucking weird arrangement. And I'm looking at these guys, like you guys outperform them in everything, in all the sports, in every endeavor that you engage with them at, you outperform them, you outshine them. Academics, media, public speaking, the sciences, it does not matter. In art, everything, you outperform them. They're not better than you at anything. So I'm thinking to myself, they need you more than you need them. You don't need them. So they continue to play this game with this weaponization of one drop rule where they're setting up this arrangement where they want to bastardize the women, basically to absorb them back into blackness because they want the European genes and features, right? But they want the males to be subordinates underneath the dark skins. And I'm I'm sitting there laughing. Like, no, they gotta pay us. They gotta pay us now. Okay. Now they gotta pay us. So they claim our achievements, right? Like Charles Drew, and I already mentioned the generals. We can't do nothing on our own without them needing attention from it. I liked it. It was on TikTok, right? Yeah. Yeah, basically kind of sums up. I wanted to kind of share that here. It sums up everything. Sums up everything what we have been saying. Like I said in one of my videos that I don't know if I already uploaded or I will upload it. I have to kind of reiterate this stuff because a lot of people forget or they play dumb or they're just kind of out of touch. I have to continuously reiterate this stuff. So let me see, am I back here? Okay, yeah. So I saw a comment, I think it was today or yesterday. Shout out to the lady, French Canadian lady who put the comment. This is on the video I uploaded the other day. It says the women are okay, but not the men. And I'm going to go back into the whole, it's the one drop rule, but it's also the, like I just referenced a minute ago about the arrangement they have, where it's like they want the mixed women because they want access to the European genes, right? Their preference, and they can bastardize them, absorb more mulattoes into the black group. So they want the women, but they don't like the men. They look at the men as a competitor. And so they want to position the men to be subordinates. This is why they hate Drake, because he's better than all of them, all the dark skinned rappers. Drake's better than them. So they don't like Drake, but they like J. Cole, because J. Cole's a pussy, a punk, a bitch who will basically apologize. Remember, he did like a diss track or something to like Kendrick Lamar. Then he retracted the diss track, he deleted it and apologized, like some weak hoe shit. But the blacks like praise J. Cole, like, yeah, you're a good biracial. And I'm sitting there like, bro, I'm not the only one who sees this shit. Like, it's so funny how they always reference like J. Cole or they'll reference Lenny Kravitz. It's like Lenny Kravitz is not in the competitive field competing with blacks. Because if he was, okay, if he was on the basketball court or hip hop or something, they'd be the first ones to be like, oh, that's right. You got a white dad. You ain't a black like us. See, they play this game with all you people. But Lenny Kravitz, because he's not competing with them, so they're not going to say nothing. But a Drake, they're going to whine and cry. And then J. Cole, like I said, he'll get competitive. He's a good lyricist, his good rhymes, good raps and stuff. But just mentally, he's a Bantu butt kisser. So they use him as a prime example. I saw this majestic butterfly, this comment here under the video, like I said, where it's like the same thing like with the game they play with the whites, where it's like, well, they like the white women, right? But they don't like the white males, right? They do like the white males. Let's just be clear. It's just both of those groups, the white males and black males, they work together on a team to position mulattoes in a subordinate position. So, and it's more public now more than ever. They might have kept it a little secret under the table the past decade, but now it's just right in your face. If you're a mulatto, you're a light-skinned guy, whatever you call yourself, you haven't figured this shit out, I don't know what to tell you. You can tune in, listen to me. If you don't like my delivery, go somewhere else. That's fine. There's other channels. But this stuff is pretty much in the open now. And yeah. So they do like white males because they work and serve for them. All their basketball coaches are white males. Their football coaches are white males. Their hip hop managers and record producers and accountants are all white males. Like they all got white male attorneys and all this shit. So as far as I'm concerned, like because I saw this meme here, a white guy shared it. I thought it was pretty funny. I just kind of switched it out. I didn't want to get the video flagged with this image, so I put peace sleeve, but it actually had pussy there, right? Instead, but I just kind of crossed it out and put peace sleeve, more appropriate. But you know, a lot of white guys see that. It's like, look, a lot of these blacks, they're just mad because they love the whites more than the whites love them. That's what it is. That's really what it is. Let me get into the comment. They are using the unscientific one-drop rule to manipulate mixed people, particularly to push them into promoting blackness and securing political power. This undermines mixed individuals by making them conform to an identity that doesn't fully represent them. Many mixed people are groomed for this purpose. I mean, this is significant, especially the women are more susceptible. Now, there's a lot of people who are not going to like me saying that. That's fine. You can go tune in to one of the other knucklehead feminist channels where they're just trying to get black male attention. But we're going to have definitely call a spade a spade. And like I said, the last stream, I shouted out Light Skin History because I saw a couple of his videos where he highlighted that. And it was like, it's completely accurate. I mean, I have a lot, you know, mixed women, mulatto women who support my channel and stuff. But the ones who support my channel, they don't fall in line with this this framework of this pro social justice warrior, pro dark skinned male, where like they want to do God's work. They want to save the world and prove they're not a colorist by becoming a bastard baby mama by a dark skinned male. It's hustling backwards. It's you know, that whole phenomenon, man. It's crazy. It's just a crazy hustle to be involved in, or just you're proud to struggle, right? But he says many mixed people are groomed for this purpose. Yeah, the social justice warrior virtue signaling. And I feel like it's more of an option available there to females than it is to males, honestly. That's my, you know, this is what I see. Okay. In a majority white country, it's frustrating to be shamed. To be shamed into submission, as if we are meant to live for promoting a community that doesn't entirely reflect us. They don't reflect you, and they don't have your best interest at heart. This is the key thing. They don't represent you. They don't even look like you. They don't fucking look anything like you. Like everybody where I'm at, it doesn't matter. I travel this whole country, United States, where it's like the dark skinned black, and you look at a guy like me, we're not the same race. We don't look the same. We don't have the same culture, the same ethnicity, race. Because you have a lot of people trying to act weird and dumb and like confuse the issue. Well, you're the same race as the dark skinned Bantu. You're just a different ethnicity. No. Not the same race as a black. Okay. Not the same ethnicity, not the same culture. I didn't grow up with you people. I don't represent your culture. I don't serve dark-skinned Bantus. That's not my culture. Okay? I'm going to have to continue to tell you people because you don't listen. You want to come over here and act like I'm the confused one, you know. You don't know the difference between race and ethnicity. No, I do. I'm not your race, boy. Okay? I'm not your race. And that's the whole concept here, where it's like they want to shame you into submission, and they want to position you to promote a community that doesn't reflect you. It doesn't reflect your value system. They don't have your best interest at heart. They will never look at a guy like Steph Curry and say he represents what it is to be a black man. They'll never pick a mulatto man and say, well, he represents a black. They'll pick one, Obama. One guy. You want to know why? Because he married a black female, basically got absorbed back into the black monolith. That is the unwritten rule and law in their community. But see, the dark-skinned Bantus, they're not held to the same standard. A dark-skinned Bantu like Michael Jordan, he can get a Latina wife, a partner, and the blacks aren't going to take his black card or say shit. Isn't that interesting? They'll still use him as a standard, right? As what a black man is. Even what's this guy's name? The all the dark skins, they like him. The Hollywood guy, I think his name, Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes. He isn't he married to like a Chinese woman? I don't know if he has kids by her, probably, but he's his partner is like a Chinese woman, a non-black woman. But all the dark skinned Bantus love Wesley Snipes, right? So they'll never like take his black card and say, you're not a black like us, right? They'll always use him to represent them, even though he's not committed to a black female, right? But see, then they look at a guy like Patrick Mahomes. The dark skins aren't going to look at him and say he represents the other dark skins, the blacks, like Tyrese or something, Tyrese Gibson. Yeah, this is how it is. We all see this. You guys can act fucking dumb with me and play dumb. You're the same race. You're the same race as a dark-skinned Bantu. You're just different ethnicity. No. I'm not a part of you people. I've been saying this for 2 years, but people still like try to play dumb with me. I don't get it, man. You can try to grift the hustle, the pro-wax shit with somebody else over here. No, the mulattoes are an independent entity from black, period. The more of us out here that, develop this consciousness, it's going to grow. They're going to come to that realization. I'm just merely a messenger, and I'm not special at all. Never said I was. I'm just a guy with a chip on my shoulder and some balls, and I have an internet connection and a microphone. That's pretty much it. But yeah, how, you're shamed in promoting them, and they want to position you to promote a community that doesn't have your best interest at heart, that they don't look like you, they don't reflect your value system. It's a very bizarre quandary that we find ourselves stuck in at the moment. I mean, I'm not stuck in it. I'm the hell out of it, but finding other mulattoes who can, see the situation for what it is, that's kind of where the challenge is, but that's on my part to do the work. Let's continue on. It feels as though we have been seen the way they project us to be because we don't center our lives around promoting black identity. I love being who I am as a person first and as a mixed mulatto woman, but the manipulation and pressure making me generally concerned about this situation. Their women have always had channels for years pushing conspiracy theories of the same kind, but are more matriarchal viewpoint or point of view, excuse me. And they also have mixed daughters. Yeah, a lot of these divestors or dustvesters, right? Yeah, very cringeworthy. Yeah, they have mixed daughters and stuff, and they're still pushing the same. And they want to position their children as serve blacks, right? That's why you got like a Michi X type of. She's the prime example. She's been positioned, and she's the lightest person in the room, the most white person in the room, full of blacks, dark skinned blacks, mainly males, because remember, she's a female, so the males, their preference is there, and yeah, she's in that position. She's one of many others. It's exhausting. They are malignant people in their communities that they love us a bit too much. They love you so much, they want to conquer you and absorb you. And they want to basically punk you. They want to punch on you like a punching bag. And they want to use you to boost their ego because they suffer from low self-esteem. They have more insecurities than any other group or nation of people on the planet. Why is that? Well, because of the legacy of slavery, the historical legacy where they've been literally raped, tormented, tortured. I mean, they have real grievances. We're talking about the AAs, African Americans, former slaves. They have real legitimate grievances. I'm not, saying that's not true. They have real grievances. They were completely conquered. If you look at the history, they were fed to alligators. They were made into like furniture and wallets and all types of weird shit, right? Their bodies were used for experiments. They went through a lot of torture and trauma. Okay. I'm not saying that's not true and accurate. That's part of history. A lot of people don't want to talk about, but when you analyze the people now, you see them on social media. They're trying to pretend they're Indians and trying to pretend they're mixed like the rest of us. These are confused, conquered people. And then they end up in our spaces, our circles, trying to convince us they're mixed and they're blacker than the fucking Black Panther, talking about they're the same as me. No, you're not. I'm sorry to be the mean guy, but you people had no problem being mean to us. And that's why I always point out to mulattoes, you got to kind of be a little mean. They have no problem being mean to you. But when you check their ass, then they want to whine and cry to their white massa that you being mean, right? Your commentary and content goes against the community standards, but they have all this like, negative stuff that they promote, whatever. Yeah. So it says, and I can only hope for their offspring to eventually find healthy, clear minded people to pull them out of this muddy water. It ain't me. My whole thing is I'm telling the mulattoes, look, you've been giving them too much free labor for all these years. Literally, we could say a century. I mean, it's what, 1924? We're in 2024. So 1924, about that time, we could say that. Yeah. About 100 years, a century. Given the dark skinned Bantus in the United States of America, the AAs, former slaves, given them, and they can, whatever you want to call so-called blacks, so-called, they the kings and queens and the aboriginals, whatever. Okay. You've been giving them free labor. What do you have to show for it? Okay. The W.E.B. Du Boises, the Frederick Douglasses, the Charles Drews, the Thurgood Marshalls, the Adam Clayton Powells, the Dr. Claude Anderson, all these mulattoes who have been caping for blacks for years, like I said, century, a little over a century. What do they have to show for it? Nothing. You guys have nothing. My whole point is, look, they need help and they need healing and all this stuff. I get that. But you need to make sure you charge them a fee. They owe you money now. No more freebies, period. And more of you guys, you need to be self-advocates, advocating for yourself. Make sure they pay you. Because you know what's hilarious and funny? They got money to give to these Asians and Chinese to go to do business with them. And a lot of the Chinese will kick them out their business or assault them, tell them they don't want them in their store. They'll still show up the next day, these slaves, giving them their money. See, they got money. They got money in their pockets. They'll go to the bodega or the taqueria and give the Chicanos their money for a burrito. They got money. They got money in their pockets. They need to break you off some of that money. And you mulattoes need to coordinate with each other and develop some cohesion in a network and establish protection. The next years will be interesting for the Western world. Don't give up. Take care of your finances and mental health. I wish you the best. She's from Quebec, Canada. Yeah, shout out to her. She's been supporting me for a minute. Been seeing her comments here and there. I think she follows me on TikTok as well. Shout out to her. And you guys, of course, can go ahead and follow me over on TikTok. I think many of you guys do, especially I see the gals in the chat, Renata Mulatta and Val, etc. So yeah. The one drop rule, archaic one drop rule is destined to be dismantled. It already is legally. Like I said, there's no standing. It's just socially, people still want to enforce the rule, but they have nothing to back it up. Where it's like in major media, even the thing like with Kamala Harris, why I'm not a supporter of Kamala. I'm not a supporter of Donald Trump either, to be honest with you. To a degree, I mean, I laugh and joke. I think, how much do I want to say? Yeah. I don't post anything political here on this channel that I can think of, but there's other people's channels that I might have commented. I know, shout out to Miranda's World. Miranda, I commented on her channel a month ago saying, oh yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump. But that was a month ago, just in the moment, in the heat of the moment, right? But I'm going to wait till last minute, literally, when it's election day to see who I cast my vote for. But I'm more than likely it's not going to be Kamala. Just going to say that. But I think it's good that this woman is in the forefront of the public eye because it's bringing up these discussions of this multiracial identity, right? But a lot of people will bring up conspiracies put with her and try to make it seem like she's a mulatta, and she's not. Okay. And so that's where we come into the play because they're going to try to position us in a a very demeaning way that's not to our benefit. Basically, as well, you're just a created class of people. You have no land, you have no destiny, you have no, where it's like, well, who does Kamala serve? That's what they're going to position the whole argument, where there's some paymasters behind the scenes guiding her whole, which is true with all the politicians. So it's easy to push those conspiracies on the politicians, but I think it's good, like I'm saying, in short term, it's good that she's getting this notoriety in the public eye because it highlights us that we're actually out here. We're talking our shit, we're networking, we're navigating society, and we're trying to find solutions. We have problems that are similar like other people, but we're not the same as other people, but we have problems and we have to find these solutions, right? And the idea is if someone talks about you, black, white, whatever they are, you got to respond. Okay. You got to gather your notes. Okay. Gather your troops. You got to respond. Because people feel like they can say whatever the hell they want about you without any response, without any pushback, right? Because they don't look at you as even being, they have so much disdain for you. They don't look at you as being your own people, your own group, your own race in today's society. See, there was a time they did 100 years ago, but in today's society, they don't even they look at you as being just like a lot of the pro-wax would say, you don't belong nowhere. You don't belong nowhere. You have no home to go to. I tell people, you know how easy it is to just build your own home? You can go to Home Depot and, hire a couple Mexicans or something, buy your material, your lumber and all. You just build your own home. Easier now than ever before with the advanced technology, etc., resources at your disposal. When these people tell you you don't belong nowhere, you have nowhere to go, you gotta build your own shit. You mulattoes haven't figured this out yet. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Kamala's not gonna help you. Okay, she's not. Okay, Trump's not gonna help you. Okay. And where do we go from there? Yeah. So, and the attack on mixed children, mulatto children specifically. So, let me get into that. I see Renata Mulatta in the chat. So, I saw a comment she left on a video a while ago. So, I want to highlight that here. And yeah, shout out to her because she definitely brings a lot of very useful, resourceful information and expertise that I do appreciate. So the video was this video I did last week, right? It was like they fear the future, which I'm going to go into a lot more detail. I'm going to do more videos about what I see over on X, how they're very bold now. And like I said, the reason why this is because they feel like you're not your own people. You don't advocate for yourself. You mulattoes, you see yourself through the blacks, but the blacks, the dark-skinned Bantus, they don't see themselves through you. That's your problem. That's a you problem, honestly, where you identify with people who don't identify with you. Like they look at it as basically as a parasitic relationship. They just want to take and use you because they want to uplift themselves above you to get closer to white people. And they want to use mulattoes to do that. That's why all these black Democrats voting for Kamala. It's the same scenario, right? They want to use the mixed people to get closer to white people and elevate themselves in society. It's been this way for a very long time. So, but because they know a lot of you are stuck. You don't have a sense of purpose, a destiny. You don't look at yourself and others similar like you, phenotype, heritage, genetic wise, culture. You don't look at yourselves being your own people. They can take advantage of that. And a lot of the whites, they're talking cash shit over on X, and they're targeting the children. It just shows how cowardly they are and how deprived and depraved they are. Literally, it's like a vulnerable child. And you would think in civilized society it's off limits. Like what the hell? That's why for me, I've developed a new motivation to start, basically taking my commentary in another direction. Okay, seeing where I can go with this, because I'm sitting there like, wait a second, this is way out of fucking bounds. And these children that they're making jokes about, right? These white nationalists, these children are going to grow up eventually, right? They're going to grow up in society. And the internet's forever. Everything I'm saying is forever. The people are going to use every word and everything I've uttered. They're going to use it against me forever, right? When I publish a book, wherever I go, whatever business dealing and anything, they're going to bring it back. Remember when you said this, Mulatto Van Gogh, right? So this stuff is all forever. So I'm looking at how are these people so bold to make these statements about young, innocent children? These white nationalists we're talking about. It's crazy. But yeah, let me get into this comment. I see some of you guys kind of dipped out. Let me see. We got here. Shout out to you, Renata Mulatta. She puts white nationalists often highlight incidents of black male violence against white women, suggesting it is more common than it is. But there are numerous cases such as Michonne Cooper, 2018, Lauren Smith Fields, 2021, and Sade Robinson, 2024, where white men have terminated black female partners. Excuse me. Yeah. It's just that white nationalists do not hold white men accountable for such violence and instead emphasize cases involving white women. Yeah, because they're using white women as a proxy, right? The same white women they don't commit to and build families with, the ones who cry online, I'm saying. And then they want to go, their little Asian fetish. They want to get an Asian female or Latina or something like that. Yeah, these are the ones who are crying on Twitter about the black males and the white women, right? Yeah, they have a heavy emphasis on it. And like I said, I'm against censorship. I love the fact that they're talking. It gives me material to talk about. But it's definitely like an echo chamber, right? And like they are extremely biased. Like they only want to talk about when a black guy, some degenerate black, does something against, a white woman or white people in general, which I love the fact that they're talking about it. I've never reported. I don't report any of their channels. I don't know why, right? Yeah. So I'm against the whole censorship of reporting, but it's obvious that it's like, well, I mean, with the whole reporting thing, let me say this. Look, if somebody's trying to like say dox you and harass you or spread slander or false information, you're in your right to basically do what's necessary. So I'll say that. But as far as like the speech component, if I don't agree with them politically, I love the fact that they're talking about us because number one, it destroys the argument that the one dropping blacks will say about mixed people. Oh, the white people, they just gonna see you as black. You just a nigga just like no, we're not like you people. Everyone knows the difference between a mixed person and a black. They just have a lot of people trying to play stupid and try to play games with us, but it's not really working. Okay, it's not working. I'm just one guy, but there's more of us out here who are more articulate, more astute, more knowledgeable than me. I'm not special. So yeah, and it's only a matter of time. So I like the fact that they're talking because it lets everybody know, oh yeah, they do see us not the same as the black because they're not fearful of black. But what they're fearful of black is that they'll breed with white women and have mulatto kids. That's what they're afraid of. But they're not afraid of white males having access to black women having kids. This is what I'm trying to point people out because historically that's been the case. They have nothing to say if it's a white guy with a Latina woman, a white guy with an Indian woman or Pakistani woman. They got nothing to say about that. And if these people are committing crimes and doing this, they got nothing to say. You go to their social media, nothing to say. Their timeline is flooded with incidents of a black male committing a crime, specifically on white people, because that's their whole, platform. That's what they talk about. And then cracking jokes about mixed children who they fear. They know when the child's going to grow up, they're going to outperform them, right? Another competitor, male. And so let's continue on with this comment. It says here, statistically, people are more likely to face termination by members of their own racial category. And interracial relationships and violence are not inherently linked. Their concern centers on the racial background of any mulatto offspring, reflecting anxiety about future societal dynamics. Bingo. And this is what I highly emphasize here because they know the male. See, because when they share their little images, I'm going to share some. I'll drop the link if you guys want to jump up. But I'm going to go back to that Twitter thread with the guy Elijah Schaffer, and when they share the images of the mulatto kid, it's a male. They're using this generic kind of animalistic caricature. They're trying to make the mulatto child look like a gremlin or some crap, right? It's the male that they're fearful of. They're fearful of more Gable Stevensons, the Olympic gold wrestler. They're fearful of these type of individuals, or the Rock characters. They're fearful of these, mulatto masculine presence in society. That's not going to bow down to a white boy. They're not a dark-skinned black Bantu. Okay, on the football field, they're not going to kiss white butt. That's the job of the dark-skinned Bantu. The mulatto guy is not going to do that. That's why they're fearful of this whole situation. Because the mulatto guy, you have a white mom. Think about it. You were raised in their societies, their neighborhoods. You were competing with them since birth. You've competed with them on the courts, in the classroom. You were in culture to compete with them. That's how you were raised. So how the hell is that going to change when you're an adult? You're like, no, now we're out here in the playing field. I'm going to compete with you again, some more, for some more money, right? So that's the difference. Is you were brought up in their communities or societies, so you have studied them. You have a thorough knowledge of how they operate and the strategies they deploy against not only you but other groups. You've had so much time to study them and their sociology. You know how they operate, the strategies they use. That's why they fear you, because you grew up around them. You understand the subtle nuances and the psychological warfare. There's a lot of things that they can do that they're not going to publicly say. They say like explicit and implicit notions. This is what they fear of you. This is what they fear, because you know them in a more intimate way than any other group of people out here, right? Because you were raised by them. You're raised by them. You're enculturated by them. You grew up around them. You grew up competing with them. So you are the best ultimate competitor. So they view you as a political threat. This is what it all comes down to. And they make the little stupid jokes about you being ugly and all this crap. I mean, we have too many damn examples, okay, of these good looking, smooth talking mulattoes out here. It's just, I'm just here to report the news. Let me continue on. And I'm not saying I'm the best looking guy. I'm a dude. I'm not trying to look all pretty out here. I'm one of the guys that's going to tell you and anybody that, yeah, I'm probably going to end up fighting you out here. Statistically, people are more likely to face, I said that. Their concern centers around racial background of any mulatto offspring, reflecting anxiety about future. The key word is future. That's why they fear the future. Future societal dynamics, okay, where they can contain the dark-skinned Bantu, the black. They can contain him. They've had him and her for centuries. But they're talking about that mulatto. They're like, oh, they're not going to contain you. That's why in that book I read, it's on this channel, the autobiography of Frederick Douglass, where he highlighted in his book where one of the ladies, plantation owner, the wife, like saw that Frederick Douglass was up to no good, and she called him like a mulatto devil. She's like, you yellow mulatto devil. Like he like recited the words she used to acknowledge him, because she was fearful of him. She felt like he was scheming and plotting, like to get other slaves on the plantation to like rebel or escape or run away, right? And she caught him. You guys remember that? I read it. It's on this channel. I forgot which chapter it is, but it's in the Frederick Douglass's autobiography. And this stuff, that fear goes back centuries ago, right? That fear where they're like, oh, you're going to plot, you're going to help the blacks, right? To turn on them, right? So they have a gigantic fear about that. This is what they talk about, these societal dynamics. They know they have the blacks kind of stuck. They're fearful of the mulatto. Okay. You're going to be a little more craftier. You're going to maneuver the societal dynamics to work in your favor. And then you put here, the H-man actually referred to white Americans as mongrels due to their mixed ethnicities. because they are all cross ethnically mixed or interracially mixed with a distant black ancestor. I mean, that's debatable. A lot of these whites, they take pride in their little, 5% Native American ancestry because they feel like that blood gives them more of a tie to the land. you know a lot of these people you'll see here, they're so proud of their little, native admixture or something like that. Whatever. I find their attempt to insult mulatto individuals by weaponizing the H-man's insults on them to be rather ironic. Yeah. Very intriguing, interesting comment. I appreciate that. Renata Mulatta, you always deliver. Let me see. Let me drop the link if you guys want to hop up here. I kind of wanted to hop up here to talk with you guys, chat it up, and do my community service, but also to go back into that whole. Let me share the screen right here of this Schaffer character. What's this guy's name? Elijah Schaffer. I wanted to go back into this because I was like, I did a video on it, but someone put a comment like, hey, it's interesting. You could probably do a live stream on it because there's more. Let me see the views here. 6.2 million views. This was yesterday. He uploaded this, he posted this X post. And yesterday when I did a video about it, as soon as I saw it, it was at like, or was it today? I think I uploaded today. My apologies, guys. But it was at like 2 million views. It's at 6 million. Look at the engagement. 6 million people saw this post. He's talking shit about a mulatto kid. This is a kid. It's like a high school basketball player or something. Shendell Weaver. And we're like, isn't this like, dude, this is an adult here. You're talking shit about a kid? What type of crap is that? And look at notice he puts here, mixed race kids just look better. And he's like, mixed race kids, trying to act like this guy doesn't like, he's not a normal person. We're sitting there like, dude, the guy's got braces. He's a kid in puberty. He's a fucking kid. Like, this guy is a weird sex deviant. There's something going on with this Elijah Schaffer guy. Not a normal character to be out. And people reference his his engagement is following. This guy's, look at that, almost 1 million followers. I never heard of this guy until someone tagged me in this thread. They're like, this guy's talking shit about us. I was like, oh, interesting. This guy's got 748,000 followers. And I think his YouTube channel, he's got like 500,000. He's got like over 500,000. So his social media platforms are huge. I never heard about this guy. I saw that he was on Fresh and Fit, which is typical with the white incels because that's their market. They they talk shit about mixed kids, but they're all sitting like Nick Fuentes, but they're all sitting up there with Myron Gaines, who's half Arabic, half black, and then also, Sneeko, who's mixed. So that's why, you mulattoes out there, you guys better fucking figure it out. And I'm just one dude. I know a lot of you people are going to be upset with me, my delivery and all this stuff. You'll get over it eventually. You'll realize the importance of what's going on. I want to highlight this right here where he says mixed race kids. He didn't say black because because the blacks are going to sit there. According to the white man, they just see you all as just a nigga like us. So you need to sit your light skinned black ass down right next to us dark skins and let us punk you and say that you not like us and you not the same. That's what the blacks will to try to weaponize the one drop rule to try to punk you. I'm sitting there laughing. And he got these whites, like, look at how large his following is. These people aren't fucking stupid. They know the difference between a mulatto and a black. We don't look like you people. I mean, this guy right here, he's a kid. Anywhere in Africa, none of these blacks are going to call him black. Say the black Americans act like they're the voice of all blacks around the world. They're not. They represent the conquered class of the new empire, United States, period. They don't represent, they might have the most money per capita than a lot of blacks around the planet, but look what they do with their money. They give it to the Asians. They give it right back to their white massa. Where the hell are their businesses at? Can you name me one nationally recognized black-owned business where there's like a chain, like a restaurant or a grocery store? Can you name me one? You can say Roscoe's, like chicken and waffles. I think that's like a black-owned business. Yeah, you can name that one, but it's funny because I went to a couple of them, Long Beach and where I'm from, California. They have in Anaheim, and you got a bunch of Mexicans working there. Supposedly a black business, and that they don't have any blacks like working, especially the one in Anaheim. But Long Beach, it's hilarious. Like, you're not even hiring your own damn people. You got Skid Row, nothing but blacks out there in LA, sleeping on the street in tents across the country. So it's like, where the hell are your businesses hiring your people? Oh, that's right. You need us mulattoes to help your ass out. No, you got to pay us. You got money. You're giving it to all the Asians and everyone else. You're going to pay us if you want something. But I wanted to point that out. Like, make no mistake, they know the difference between you and them. He didn't say black here. He said mixed race, pointing out the fact mixed race and black is not the same. See, a lot of the blacks will try to blur the lines, be like, well, most African Americans, because of slavery, we're mixed. Well, I don't give a damn what you people are mixed with, I know there's one guy who listens. He's a fanboy of mine. He's beefing it with some other guy, which we all knew was going to happen. He's sitting around trying to, his genetics and, that he's actually mixed race. I don't care what the hell your ass is. You're not mulatto. Okay. Like, I don't understand these people. They come to us trying to play stupid with us in our face. Like, it's very appalling. Okay, what am I going to do now? I'm going to drop the link for you guys. If I got any of you guys who want to jump up here, be my guest. Be my guest. And I think I'll probably go back to that and revisit that. But in the meantime, yeah. All right, the link is still there. The link is pinned. If you guys want to hop up here, it's all on you. And to continue on, the show must go on. So let's get right back into this. All right. So like I said, when I did the video, I was like, I'm not gonna, read all the comments. I'll be there, I'll give you guys like a 3 hour video. Look at the engagement. That's what I'm saying. Like 3,000 comments. I think when I upload the video, it was like 1,500 or something like that. 6 million views. This white boy is letting you know there's a difference between mixed race and black. They all look at you the same. According to them white folks, you just the same as the blacks. No. I don't You blacks are not making the rules out here. I don't care what you have to say. Go back and consult with your white massa. You guys got to figure it out. The mulattoes over here, we figured it out. We're building, doing some other shit. He says, still better than a gremlin. It's like, how, see, this is some sex deviant shit. How are you trying to compete and position yourself that you're like, look at how he tries, someone shared an image of him here. This is you. And he puts a comment here, still better than the gremlin, trying to make the like assumption that this kid is it's a kid, bro. It's a kid. And that's what I'm trying to point out. Like, it's just way out of bounds. And what type of guy is sitting up here on the internet trying to like compare himself or compete with a kid? It's some weirdo sex deviant behavior. Normal guys aren't doing this shit. And this individual has a large platform, hundreds of thousands. I followed this lady earlier today. I saw her comment and followed her. Black lady has got a mixed race daughter. She puts here bad sample. And there's logical reasons for most mixed race children being more attractive and smarter than the average. Number one, nature wants a wide gene pool. Two, attractive children are more likely to be accepted by the group. My mixed race children, she's showing her, and these are adults, right? Her children are all grown and stuff like that. I saw this comment. As you can see here, I liked it. I followed her as I saw her input. She says she's a sociologist, she's a doctor, social psychologist, Stanford University, right? Which is Ivy League. So, yeah. And this is a person that tagged me. I didn't even know about any of this stuff. This guy tagged me here. Shout out to you, Mulatto Cat. Tagged me. And so I was like, interesting. I was made well aware of this. Interesting. He puts here, the weird part about this post is a screenshot of him in the middle of speaking. I think I read that on the video. Yeah. Shame on you for throwing shade on a kid. See, and I saw a lot of comments like this on this thread. It's like, this is bizarre. Where like they have entire like posts and pages talking shit about you guys. What other mulattoes doing that? Is Amala and all her white boy incel fans, is she going to talk about this? Of course not. Of course not. I mean, is Sage Steele doesn't, she kind of does more sports and entertainment. She's not really doing politics like that, but all these other mulatto right-wing grifters, they're not, I don't see them mentioning this shit. People say what they want about me. Am I grifting for the right wingers? Because I'm more right leaning or something like that. I'm more, yeah. Okay. Pro gun, limited government, responsibility, pro family. Yeah. The Democrats don't have that value system, is what I see. The Democrats are pro sex deviant, pro illegal. Okay. And so, yeah. But I look at these mulattoes like in on the right, like they're not talking about this shit. They're not trying to put a spotlight to the reality that people are trying to attack us and tarnish our image at an early age. You see a guy here says right wing banger. He puts, dude, F you for this post. He says, I have beautiful mixed children. He puts a racist post, don't help anything. And in the video, I talked about this. This image here is like a kind of creature-like animalistic image. It's supposed to represent a baby, like the guy was saying, a gremlin, but he has his full teeth and the hair. Remember, this is supposed to be a male. That's what you guys have to understand. It's the same situation with the blacks. where they do not like the mulatto males, like they don't like Drake, but they like the mulatto women. They're all married to them, like they have, or they bastardize them, turn them into baby mamas. Because Kendrick Lamar isn't even married to what's her name, Whitney. He's just, that's her baby mama. They're not even married. That's because she's cheated on him, Kendrick, a bunch of times with other men, and Kendrick's cheated on her. So, but they got kids together. So it's what they call that, a situationship. And that's what they do. Like in Tariq Nasheed, I mean, he's got a mulatto partner. But see, that's how the same operation in Blackistan, where the women are cool. They like the women, the mulatto women, right? There's a pathway to blackness. They just have to serve and bow down to the darkskins. They can't let the darkskins know their true preference because that'll hurt their little dark skin feelings. So the mulatto women got to lie and pretend and say they prefer dark skinned men because they're more masculine, all this crap, right? Light skins are, are sassy. That's what they say. So they have to perpetuate that lie because they don't want to hurt the dark skins' feelings, right? Let them know the type of guys they really like. But yeah, so they don't look at the women as a threat. Same thing with these whites. Same thing with the whites. When they use this image, this is supposed to represent a male child, a male baby, and they're making it seem like an animal, like literally like a creature, like non-human. They reference gremlin because the ears are all pointed out. We're like, really? They don't do that to the white female though, right? They don't do that to the white female or even the black male because they're not threatened by the black male. They know the black male is gonna shuck and jive and coon and kiss their white ass. See, because in the especially the work environment I'm at right now, and this is kind of why the direction of a lot of my commentary is going in this direction because I see it around me and I've always seen it, but I see it more on a daily basis right now. Where it's like, no, they don't feel they know the blacks are gonna serve and kiss their ass. They're fearful of mulattoes. Look at this Isabel Jones right here, who says here, the F is wrong with you. With the following that you have, this is the best you have to offer society. Go F yourself. Yeah, it's crazy, huh? Because this Schaffer guy, if I can go back up, he has, like I mentioned, 748,000 followers on Twitter, or yeah, X. But on his YouTube, he has like over 500,000. That many followers. This is the best he can do at this time. I don't know who this person is. If someone says just as bad as white inbreds, is this like Hillary Clinton's daughter or something? I don't know who the hell this is. Who is this supposed to be here? Yeah, it is Hillary Clinton's daughter. I kind of thought so. And these are Trump's kids when they were eating a few more hamburgers, probably a decade or more ago. Yeah, look at this. So, oh, here they got here. They certainly think so. Breeding between the lines. Now, I own this book. This book is wrote by a homosexual Jewish guy. Just putting that out there. Okay. And Alan Ziv. And he wrote this book. So, and of course, he got a lot of hate for it. And like I said, the whole thing is because they don't add specificity. They talk about mixed kids, and he calls us interracial people, breeding between the lines. Why interracial people? What the hell is an interracial person? I'm a mulatto, European and African, right? So they kind of blur the lines. They try to throw us in kind of a mixed bag, pun intended, with all these other groups and configurations where it's like, look, a mulatto is not the same as a hapa. Or you could name your configuration. There's a page I follow, Mixed Race Faces, which I like their kind of photography, their presentation, very professional. I like their page. I follow them on Instagram, Mixed Race Faces. But it's like they talk about mixed race people of all configurations, which is beautiful. I mean, they're giving people a voice and stuff. But they're talking about people who are like not mulatto, which for me, my whole thing is a specificity. I'm establishing we have our own tribe. I want people to take pride in that. We have a tribe. We got people who can relate to you. Culture, heritage, identity. We get it. We understand. We've been through these situations. We've had these similar scenarios that we can plan out and strategize and move forward with solutions. So let's see what the comments are with this in this book. Every single time, and of course the Jewish conspiracy they have here with all these texts. But then you ask yourself, is it a Jewish conspiracy? When you have, and I already did a live stream on this like a year ago. I'm like, why is this guy this Alan Ziv is the author. He's like a homosexual Jewish guy. Why is he so vested in Mulatto specifically? Because he uses us as a cover. This is a mulatto they're using as a cover image, but he's identifying us as interracial people that you don't have a personhood. That doesn't tie you to any culture or any heritage or identity. That doesn't mean anything. Interracial people doesn't mean anything. What does that mean? Nothing. It's too ambiguous. So that's what I was saying. Like, I did this a year ago. I owned the book, read it, but I did a live stream. I was like, why is Alan Ziv so fixated, or he develops a whole book to mix people? Why? So then it actually provides some legitimacy to the claim of the white nationalist. When you see here, 80 years of genocidal, anti-white, vicious Jewish hate. And they cite all these texts, which I don't own any of these. I've seen a couple. This white fragility, I think I've seen that. Is white like me. Tim Wise, who's a white guy himself. I don't think he's Jewish, but straight white male. So they document all these texts here. Okay. So this is good for research for you guys to kind of get on board, get your library card, go get some books, start to read, because this is what you're dealing with out here. Hey, Ann, what's it like being a miserable racist? How is it racist to notice patterns? Let's see what she has to say. That's exactly what a racist would say. And if she was racist, which she's not, how do you know? Little tiny Rick, little cartoon character, little troll. Then let me go back. That's her choice. Everybody is effing racist to it. Everyone's racist. Yeah, it's a typical racist statement. We're all a little racist. We're all a racist. No. I know it's, a lot of these racists, they always make that claim to try to justify themselves and their position. Well, everyone's a little racist, so my racism is not that bad, right? You just contradicted yourself. And while it might be true that everyone might be racist to an extent, that's not a good thing. That's a character flaw you need to overcome. We can say everyone has prejudices. Everyone prejudges. Right? The words, the semantics, it does matter. There is a difference. That's why I stress mulatto, because I'm not an interracial person, according to Alan Ziv, who wrote this book. Okay. It's the semantics matter. So it's like, okay, yeah, well, everyone prejudges. Yeah, we get that. Was everyone racist? I mean, the race is the competition. It's a power dynamic, utilizing sociology and groups of people. And I would say people want to make the claim that mulattoes are the most racist. I would say we are the least racist, because we can build bridges between people. And that's why the racists hate us. The black racist, the white racist, the Latino racist, they all hate us, because we can build bridges between people and connect people in a way that others cannot. They don't have the same, capabilities that we do with understanding different cultures and having a background with that. The mutability aspect, versatility. That's what it is. And that's why people hate you. They hate the fact that you can build bridges in a way that they can never could. Yeah. That's, again, Jewish conspiracy, right? Berg, Witz, Baum, Stein, every single time. Every single effing time. Yeah. It's a black guy and the avatar, but it could be a white guy written by a Jew. Yeah, it was written by a Jewish guy. We already kind of noted that. This book here, Breeding Between the Lines, right? So they're noting the pattern. You have another image here. Like I said, this is the male. If it ain't white, it ain't right. I just wish they're a white American friend. I wish they would be as bold as some of us out here. Like the level of cowardice to hide behind a sock puppet account. I mean, I don't know what their employer or who they're working for. It's funny, they'll sit up here on X and talk shit about Jews, but it's funny, I guarantee you they got some Jews working for their corporation or company. They don't want to get their ass fired or whatever. See, they can publicly talk shit about you mulattoes because you mulattoes are still serving blacks. See, like, you don't understand that you are your own people and you don't advocate for yourself. You're still out here serving blacks. So they feel comfortable talking shit about you because they study the blacks. They follow all their social media. They know the blacks are talking cash shit. And all the pro-whack circles, the Professor Black Truth, the Whack Authority, Tariq Fraud Sheet, Dr. Umar, they know these blacks are jealous and mad because they see all these mulattoes in society. And that the mulattoes are getting all the shine, Zendaya, and all politics everywhere in sports. So they know, because the whites want to use mulattoes to represent what blackness is. And the blacks are jealous and mad about that. He's like, he's out here looking like a monkey, right? When this image here would represent him more than anything. You look at this guy here, Hayes Media Group. He's an Aussie guy here. He's a conservative, right? Crusader, Christian, traditionalist, nationalist, right? I'm thinking this monkey looks more like you, bro. And it says here, mixed race kids, hideous. Yeah. Well, and you got, these are all adults though, right? Saucy Texan puts. I don't know who this is. That's Mariah Carey. That's an adult, right? I mean, the whole point is, why the hell are these people talking about kids and your kids? That's the whole thing. Like, this whole conversation should always maintain and be about adults, comparing adults and our performance. Like I said, I'm not the nicest guy. I'm not the best looking guy. I'm not the best in shape. I'm none of this stuff. Okay. I'm just a regular dude with some balls and a chip on my shoulder. But the fact that this whole conversation is revolving around kids, it begs the point, like, how is this normal? How is this normal? This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Bro got no eyebrows. Like I said, I could be here all day reading these comments and all this stuff, but I don't want to. I think I shared a lot. Let's get back in. Let's see what we got with some of you guys up here in the comments. Like I said, the links dropped if you guys want to hop up here. I know a lot of you guys are scared. It's okay. I don't bite too hard. You like Trunks? Yeah, I like Trunks for sure. Gohan and Trunks. They're both the hybrids in the Dragon Ball series. The Blackistani community are the Ginyu Force. Yeah, they certainly are, because they're dancing like a bunch of goofballs. That's what they're known. The blacks are known for. Like, you look, Kendrick Lamar, he did Not Like Us. Didn't he do a little dance? Like, that's what they got to do, man. That's what they got to do. Kendrick, I didn't watch the whole video, the Not Like Us. I saw like a little clip, and he was like skipping or dancing or something. This is what they do. This is what they're known for. And the whites love it. They love these blacks because they're going to dance and sing and throw a football around. So they love it. That's what they're known for. Like the Ginyu Force, because, right, they strike a pose like the Ginyu Force. What's up? It's funny. There is nothing offensive about a mule. Yeah. What they're upset about is mulattoes. We can self-replicate. Okay. We can build unions with other mulattoes and have communities with each other. Okay, we're not animals, we're not mules. And that's what they're upset about, is that our numbers will multiply and we'll be literally one of the majorities. It's up to us, though. It's up to us how we navigate society, how we operate. Politically, we establish a political consciousness of where we see ourselves. It's up to us, really. Everybody else wants to maintain the status quo. And that's the whole point here is I'm not doing this whole pick a side shit. I'm with the mulattoes, what the mulattoes are doing, the ones who are proud to be mulatto. That's what I'm doing. Okay. But we already see in the public sphere of influence that a lot of blacks, they'll pretend that they're your friend, but they're working with whites against you. And the whites are paying them. Just like the guy who made that whole post talking shit about mixed kids. What's his name? Eli Schaffer. Let me pull him back up. Because he was on Fresh and Fit. He was on Fresh and Fit, and he's sitting there next to mixed people. And I'm sitting there like, bro, Elijah got his spelling kind of effed up. Let me see here. Got to pull up an image. I saw he did an image here, or he did a photo here. Let me go back to his channel and find this out right here. Apologize, guys, for this. Just want to pull up an image. Let me see where I can find it at. Damn, I thought I had that. I thought he posted it like... I'm looking at his post and I don't see it. Because he was on Fresh and Fit. He was on Fresh and Fit not too long ago. He's in the studio here. And they had like Sneeko up in there. And what's his name? Myron Gaines. And I'm sitting there like, what? So you're sitting there with these mixed people, but yet you're talking fucking cash shit about mixed kids. And nobody checks your ass. Like, that's what I said in my video. I was like, well, shit, if that was your kid and you saw this guy, wouldn't you fucking check him? This is it right here. It's an image. It says After Hours with Sneeko and Elijah Schaffer. So he was on Fresh and Fit. Look at Sneeko right there. And Sneeko is another one of these guys talking shit about mixed people, even though he's mixed and these white incels. They don't even like his ass. That's how sad it is, man. He's caping for an audience. It's a very, lucrative audience, to be honest with you. It just shows their position in society. They're fucking losing bad. But their whole position is they want to drag you down with them, right? They're acting just like blacks, basically. They know they're losing, but they want to drag you down with them. They're like, you're going to come down here with me and lose with me. And yeah, so he's sitting there on this podcast with these guys. Look at this special guest, Elijah Schaffer. And this guy's mixed. He's like Arabic and black and a black guy. He's sitting there with these fuckers. That's why, man, I'm doing my own shit over here. I'm not trying to be one of their audience members or viewers and cool with them. And I'm not. No, they need to bring some of that money over here. Fuck that. They need to start putting some money in the mulatto pockets. Let's build our own shit. Who's with me? Okay, you tell me. That's the only time they defend mulattoes is when they're claiming mulatto is a racist term. It's manipulative. I've never heard anyone use mulatto as a slur. Yeah. They act like it's a racist term. You shouldn't say that. You should have some self-respect. I mean, you blacks are the last people to tell anybody about self-respect. I mean, you listen to this hip-hop degeneracy, sexy red. You guys are calling each other the N-word and the B-word. You people need to zip your lip about anybody having some type of self-respect. You people are the last ones on the planet we're going to go to as far as etiquette, manners, and self-respect. I'm sorry. You can clip that and you say what you want, how disrespectful it sounds. Because a lot of you people, you got a lot of nerve jumping up in my comments. Like, why are you calling yourself mulatto? Do you know what that word means? Yeah, I know what it means. It means I'm not the same as you motherfuckers. That's why I use it. Oh, you got a white mama. Okay. Yeah, that's further proof I'm not like you people. So now what? You gonna pay me? If you're not gonna pay me, go exit stage left. I don't deal with you people like that. See, they're used to punking you and having a voice over you, speaking about you and for you. They're very upset now. Because what they're upset about too is we know we're not like them. People over here, we know they're even more upset with the fact that we don't care, that we're not cool, we're not a part of their little club. We're not trying to be in their little spaces like that, the pro wax and all this stuff. They're even more upset now that we realize let's just develop our own shit. Let's get our own stuff popping. Like they're even more upset about that. It's hilarious. Control mulattoes is a power trip for blacks. Yeah, exactly. They need a punching bag because they're low self-esteem, being conquered by whites. They want to feel like, because they want to attack whites through us. They see the European, the white in us, mulattoes. So they want to attack us because they feel like if they can punk us or attack us, they can kind of by proxy attack a white person. That's how they literally view it. And vice versa as well with the whites. A lot of the whites are cowards, punks to blacks, or cuckolds to blacks. So I mean, it's more obvious than ever. Look at their society in the United States, right? So, and then they're going to blame the Jews for it, of course, convenient scapegoat. But it's all these Anglo-Saxons and Aryans all in the fucking bleachers for these football games. All these whites, they're going to blame the Jews for every damn thing. But all these whites watch football and love football. They support all the blacks on the football field. So all that Jewish conspiracy shit, you can analyze it and observe it. But at the end of the day, man, we look at their behavior, their spending patterns, right? They support the blacks, right? A lot of them are cuckolds getting punked by blacks, right? So, and they pull the same crap. These whites, they'll attack mulattoes to try to as a way to try to get the blacks because they don't want to make it so evidence in a lot of ways. That's why they'll use on Twitter or X, they call it. They'll use their sock puppet accounts. They don't want to, be all predominant or out there in the open with their chest out. But they know they can attack mulattoes because you guys don't fucking represent yourself. You guys don't stand up for yourself and identify yourself as, hey, they're talking about my people. They're talking about the children, the future of us. Like this basketball player, this high school basketball kid, that's one of ours. They're talking about ours, right? I don't see none of these mulattoes, these fucking right-wing grifters. I don't see them saying shit. All I see them doing is kissing Donald Trump's ass and their white audience, kissing butt, but they don't check them and be like, oh, wait a second. Why are you talking about the kids over here? Why is that a popular trend right now in the white nationalist incel spaces to talk shit about mulatto kids? It's one thing if they want to report the news about some black, committing a crime against a white. Why the fuck are they bringing up the kids though? That's my whole thing here. See, I never gave a fuck when they're talking about the blacks or the crime and all this stuff. Okay, that's on them. Why the fuck are you talking about mulatto kids? Innocent kids have nothing to do with none of this stuff. Why are they bringing them up? It's the white nationalists. I don't see the Asians. I don't see the Latinos bringing up the mulatto kids. I don't see even the blacks. A lot of times the blacks, they're talking about the adults, like a guy like me, right? Most of my haters are mulattoes. Let's be honest. They're not even black people. Most of my haters are mulattoes who are black identified, who serve blacks, period. And I knew that would be the case from day one. So yeah, the people I'm seeing that are attacking the kids, and like Renata Mulatta stated, is because they fear the future. They know the societal dynamics are going to drastically shift. These mulattoes are not going to bend the knee and lick their boot. They won't do it. You'll have a lot of them who will, but a lot of them, they will not. And that will make the difference. It only is going to take a small percentage to make the difference. Once these mulattoes realize they have another option, it's going to be a game changer. Why would anyone benefit from being underneath African Americans? I think it's comfortable. I think with a lot of mulatto women, they come picked on. I think the smart ones, they get non-black partners. I'll be honest with you. And those are the mulattoes who follow me. I've noted that and documented that the past several months. I realized a lot of the engagement, the comments that I have from a lot of women, and there's a common trend. Like a lot of the ones who follow me who like what I have to say and support, like they don't really have black partners. There are some who do for sure, but a lot of the ones, they don't have black partners because you ask yourself, what's the benefit? And a lot of these women, if they do, if they have black partners, they're married or were in a marriage. But like the biracial baby mamas, they don't like me because they know they're losers. Like they're not desirable. They're not going to be pedestalized over here. They need to go back over there where the pookies are, and they can be the preference over there and argue with black women and do that over there. So the benefit, you say, who would benefit? I don't know if you're a biracial guy, like why the hell would you benefit being in the black community? I don't get it. There's enough of us now, we can develop our own community, which we already have now. I got my little small quote unquote echo chamber. See, it's only an echo chamber for us because they want to shame you from organizing. Everybody else can have their, like the whites, the blacks, see, and I'm cool with that. I have no issue with everybody having their space or quote unquote echo chamber. But see, they're trying to silence and suppress your influence and your reach. They don't want you to have a voice to connect with people, especially you mulatto men. Right. It says Bass Reeves and Nat Love Old West legends were both mixed and black still claim them as black. I don't know too much about them, but I don't doubt it. Yeah, they pick and choose which mixed people they want to claim as black. That's been the reoccurring theme in American history. Is Blackistan will claim, the people that they feel like will make them look better as like the lady Lena Horne. You've seen her. Lena Horne, they'll claim her as being black. You look at her, she looks more white than anything. Like she's a mulatta, but they claim her. But that's how blacks operate in the United States. They claim the mulattoes that they feel like, well, they can use and benefit them, right? And that's the past 100 years. It's our fault because we haven't tracked our own history and promoted it and preserved it as ours. We let our history get blackwashed into blackness. We're making a change now with these mulattoes. Now they're claiming it as their history, which I love it. That's what I'm doing. The whole purpose and function here. But it's kind of, yeah, it's not really on, it's kind of on our fault, but not at the same time, we're correcting the mistakes that we made. From what I've seen, Lenny Kravitz's fan base is centered in Europe and Latin America. Yeah, he lives in Brazil, right? Didn't Lenny Kravitz move to Brazil? I don't know if he's retired or something, but I know, yeah, he moved to Brazil. I think he's like a vegan or something. Lenny Kravitz. And yeah, the blacks don't listen to him. They're not his fan base, African Americans. But remember, they try to use him as this model as, oh, you need to be a good biracial and know your place. Don't argue with the blacks. Like, what? If you people get out of line, mulattoes, you're going to get, you're going to catch some flack for that, period. You, the white boys who you work for, everybody. This idea where we're just going to just be non-existent, a population with no representation, that's drastically changing. We're not going back. This is 2024. We're going to be in 2025 in a few months. We're not going back. We're going to the future. My influence and inspiration is I look at the young. The Gen Z, they're doing what they're doing. I really respect what they're doing. But we have the Gen A's, and after them, we're not going back. We're not going back. If you have a white dad, they call you an Edomite. Yeah, the Hebrew Israelite type of characters. Yeah. J. Cole is an enemy. Drake is a mulatto representative. Proud mulatto women and a wife material. The mulatto women Bantu kissers are a shame and enemy. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, most of my haters or whatever, quote unquote haters, ops, yeah, they serve Bantus, period. There's no, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. They call you Edom, even if you have a white grandfather like myself. Yeah. Yeah, that's the Hebrew Israelite, the pro-whack. That's why the Hebrew Israelite stuff, man, yeah, they want you to serve blacks. Okay, that's the thing. They go by the seed of your father doctrine. right? They want to keep you, and I don't serve blacks. And I think a lot of times people kind of get it fucked up. Like they bring the religious stuff to a political conversation. What I'm doing here, this is political sociology. I'm not pushing any. I have people who are Muslim and Christian, Catholic, who an atheist who listen and support the broadcast, what I'm doing, my social media. But you have those who are super highly religious. They bring their religious philosophies into this discussion. It's like, look, I don't do the pro whack shit. Okay. The whole see to your father. I don't respect and support none of that stuff. I don't go by those rules that you people follow. That's pro whack stuff. They serve blacks. They're under blacks. They can do that over there. Over here, we're mulattoes. This is our race. This is our ethnicity. This is our culture. We are independent from blacks. And, you're going to have religious people who are going to come in here and be like, oh, no, 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 no. According to my little Bible that my white master wrote, you still with the blacks. Nah, I'm good. Yeah. It's because of wars in Africa. Blacks have always been our enemy. Interesting. Most mulatto women who end up with black men, I'm talking about the average, not celebrities, right? They end up worn out, dead inside, and baby mamas, and they have like masculine energy. They have masculine. That's another key thing too, is they act like dudes, or they try to talk ghetto, and they're baby mamas. It's like, it's not a flex. It's so like despicable. It's one thing if you were married and the relationship didn't work out, but it's like you're a baby mama from a black dude and you have nothing to show for it. All right. Sounds like you're having a good time. Hello, y'all. I've been arguing with a lot of pro blacks lately on this app. Well, the pro blacks are oversaturated on all social media because as a population, their sample is pretty large because they don't have businesses. They're all working for whites, giving their money to Asians. So they have a lot of time on their hands to talk shit on social media to feel better about their position in society, but they're not controlling shit, right? So the blacks are all over social media talking shit. You don't season your chicken. You a white boy. You can't dance. You mixed people are confused. You don't have no identity. Like they're starting fights with everybody, and they wonder why their ass is literally at the bottom, and they try to trick you acting like they're more preferred than you light skins. I'm like, okay, keep telling yourself that. Like, just because you got a couple the biracial baby mamas, like, look, once they have bastard kids by you people, they're basically tainted. Like nobody's gonna take them seriously. They're not gonna get the leftovers. Once they see that the baby daddy's black, like they're not gonna respect you like that. Like they'll take you out to eat, Taco Bell or something, and take you out on a date. They'll play around with you. That's it. Like once they saw you, you've been tainted. And there's a guy. Shout out to him. Was the dude Patrick? I like Patrick's perspective. He's very bold, like me, assertive, kind of hurts feelings and stuff like that. And he's definitely ruffling feathers, especially dark skinned Bantus, right? The haters, because they try to tarnish your sexual marketplace value. They're trying to sit here and talk shit. Oh, you light skinned, you weak, you biracial, blah, blah, blah. And they got a lot of biracial women who like support that shit. It's like, okay, you bet. We're watching your ass. Okay. And once you got bastard kids by those fucking thugs, man, I'm telling you, we're all laughing at your ass. We're going to be sitting here laughing. Right. This information is spreading like wildfire, and more of us, we already know. Yeah, we got to basically separate the biracial baby mamas, go over there, okay, with Tyrone, okay, and beg the white government for a paycheck. The sophisticated, intelligent, civilized mulattoes and mulattas, let's do something over here away from the degenerates. And I shout out Patrick. I really like his assertiveness when I look at his community posts and stuff, and he highlights the fact as well, where a lot of these women, man, like they choose to get knocked up by Pookie and Tyrone, and it's like you're basically fucking done. Like the rest of the guys, they don't want to deal with you. Like I said, they'll play around with you, they'll entertain you, but that's as far as it goes. I don't know if they think a mixed guy or a light skinned guy who's got his shit together, has got money, is gonna like clean up the mess from the dark skinned guy. Like it doesn't work like that in society. I don't know. Social media or something, Hollywood's got their brain fucked up or confused. Because I don't see that. Like they try to use Russell Wilson as an example. But Sierra, who has a kid by Future, Sierra's already got her money. Like she's already in shape. Like she's not a normal, like an average. I not say normal. She's not an average individual because she's already a celebrity female who has her own money, and that her celebrity name and status can help a guy like Russell with their branding because now they're like a celebrity couple. So a lot of these people, these biracials or whatever, the women saying a lot of these people, I mean women specifically, biracial women, a lot of them, they'll live vicariously through the celebrity lifestyle crap. When that sample, that doesn't represent the norm out here. These Russell Wilson guys, I just don't see these biracial guys who are going to take that type of deal, or like a baby mama from a fucking Pookie. Like, I don't see that in society. Most of these biracial, these mulatto guys, they're getting with Latina chicks because, especially where I come from, California, and when I was in Las Vegas and all that stuff, they these mulatto guys, they get white chicks, they get Latinas, or they get Hoppas. I've seen that a lot. I see, they get the exotic women who are like, that's it. I do not see these guys getting a fucking Pookie's leftover. Okay, some biracial chick who's got bastard kids by a fucking black. I just don't see these biracial guys getting with those chicks. A leftover. And people got the game fucked up. They think because Sierra and Russell Wilson, these two celebrities, that represents the norm. It doesn't. I know I hurt some feelings there. I know I hurt some of your feelings. That's fine. Those black men that are dating non-black, those BM that are dating non-BM are not even thinking about these pro-blacks. Yeah. Yeah. He said those BM, I think your same comment. Yeah, but mulatto during slavery, the ones who had white mothers were often deleted. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's definitely that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. In a lot of those cases. Oh, yeah. Definitely. That's history too. That's not really talked about. It's been documented. I think it was in a series as well. There was a Roots series, I believe. They shared a scene about that, of a white lady giving birth to a mulatto child, and yeah, very tragic history. But that definitely did occur. Yeah, and because of the status, right? Because it was born to a white woman, therefore the child would not be enslaved. Right? If the child was born to a black female, they were automatically slave status. That's what they tried to, instill and, institute with Frederick Douglass, right? If it was a black female slave and the plantation owner or whatever had access to the female, and the black slave female had a child, this child would automatically be a slave. It was the reverse, right? If it was a white female had a child, different status. So they didn't want to give you that status. So they had to basically eliminate you. Yeah. That's American history for you right there. And we got here, blacks are the same as biracials, but they look different than African people. Blacks are the same as biracials. Yeah, sure. Show me the proof of that. They look different because whites during slavery bred them like dogs. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I don't think biracial men openly claim to be mixed more or less than biracial women. The dark women seem the lowest in self-esteem based on the exotical's content. It appears that many simply gain all their self-respect by living vicariously through a small number of mixed women. Yeah. Well, didn't they basically broadcasted that Paris Milan, that woman who's talking shit about mixed women and black men, right? Paris Milan, isn't she like a skin bleacher and shit? Like, that's what the exoticals pointed out, that Paris Milan's a skin bleacher. Yeah. And she's not the only one. There's a lot of others too. I think Serena Williams is bleaching her skin and crap too. Plastic surgery. I don't know what the hell's going on with Serena Williams, but there's a lot of them who are doing that. So, and the males too. You got Sammy Sosa and Michael Jackson, all that stuff. Yeah. The goal during slavery breeding was to make large, dumb slaves. Yeah. Make them big bucks. They call them bucks, right? Yeah. Make them large, make them dumb. You're saying, I'm not kidding. Large to work and too dumb to run successfully. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Make them literally work mules and horses, right? Pro-black will convince you to not buy from Asian or non-black business stores. Will they? Do they? I think the pro-black aspects is that they'll promote doing business with blacks, which I do agree with. I've been to a couple like pro-black book conventions in LA. It was ran and organized by Rosie Milligan. Shout out to her. She's an older woman now. I don't know what she's up to right now. I haven't followed her in a while, but I know she's well respected in that community, that area. And I like what she does. Yeah, she has a publishing business. She helps black people write books and stuff. I think she has several books out there. Her name is Rosie Milligan. You could probably pull up an image. So she would be a real, quote unquote, pro-black. Not these fake ass Tariq Fraud Sheed or Professor Whack Truth. The rest of these idiots. And I don't know if I can find an image of her right now at the moment. Yeah, whatever. Regardless, you could take my word for it. But I wouldn't say she tells them to don't support this business or that, because you're logistically and realistically, like, some groups of people are going to be better at specific skill sets and have services that maybe your own community doesn't provide. So, like, there's not that many black doctors. Well, you got to go to other groups of people for those services, and vice versa. I mean, the thing is black people have put so much, black Americans have put so much emphasis on being entertainers and dancing and singing to get, for their low self-esteem. They want to get approval from all these other groups. So they put all their emphasis on that, being little rappers and shit. So overabundance of that. But who the hell needs rappers? We need dentists and doctors, and we need pharmacists, right? Practical stuff. But whatever, that's on them. So pro-black would convince you not to buy. I mean, my whole thing is, for me, I'm not telling anyone not to buy from anyone. I'm just saying, hey, I know people got money out there. I know these blacks got money because they're giving it to all these Asians. I'm telling them, hey, you got to just break off some of that bread to give it to us. You want to support biracials, you need to start paying us, period. I know you don't like me, you don't like my delivery, but yeah. Hey, what's going on, Al?
Hello. No crazy people yet, so good.
Yeah, it's funny because that guy, that
Uh-huh.
weird encounter that happened, he emailed me.
Yeah.
He was very mad at me. He was saying that I was kissing your butt and stuff, and he got like really upset with me. I was trying to be neutral in that situation,
Uh-huh.
but that guy was clearly drunk. I don't know what the hell his problem was.
No,
And
he's crazy. He's mentally ill.
yeah, he's struggling, man. Like, cause he emailed me like before, talking about how
Hmm.
he was struggling to save money in Las Vegas and stuff, and so he has some like
Yeah,
personal
you
issues.
mentioned that. Yeah, you said that. I'm like, so you used to live in Vegas? Am I right about that?
I did, but this is just some guy who's like a subscriber. I don't know, he unsubscribed, whatever. But
Oh,
he emailed
yeah.
me. He emailed me telling me, he was like, he's older than me too, but he was like, oh, I need to save my money up and get my stuff right. And he just seemed like he had personal issues. He was drunk. It's like, don't
Yeah.
get drunk and come up on my panel. Like, you're
I
gonna
don't
make the
think that
whole.
guy was drunk. I think he was mentally ill. I think
Or
he had
a
mental health.
combination. It could be a combination of
It could
both.
be. It could be both. You actually, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I didn't like hear him really like slur, but it could be both at work. But he was like he was like a few tacos short of a combination platter. I mean, that guy was really. It was because I had never seen the guy before. I think you mentioned that he had been on this. He'd been here before. I think he had been on your panel before.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. I don't have that much control. I try to do my best to discourage people and
Right.
encourage people, but there's some kind of, awkward people that slip through and hop around and act like they're normal. It is what it is, right? It's internet stuff, so.
Yeah, it sounded like, I mean, you mentioned he was asking you about Las Vegas. So he must have known. Do you talk about Vegas a lot or living in Vegas? I guess you lived in Vegas.
Yeah, I was there for a couple years. I got the hell out of there. It seemed like a trap for me. I told
Okay.
him that. I emailed him, or I replied to his email because he initially emailed me, and I was like, "Look, I feel like Las Vegas is kind of a trap. Most of the jobs there are centered around the strip, the casinos, hospitality business, and most of those jobs are only bringing in like 40K a year at that. So a lot of
Mhm.
people are kind of struggling in that market.
Oh,
I was,
really?
yeah. I mean, I was there for a couple years and like I don't know, I didn't have the best experience out there to be honest with you. I mean, no shame to anybody out in Vegas, but for
Mhm.
me, I feel like it's a good place if you just want as a tourist, you want to go there and kind of chill and all this, but to live there, I'm like,
Yeah, I was supposed to go there to celebrate my 30th anniversary, actually, but I don't know. If things work out, I'm supposed to go and maybe judge a film festival there, and one of these 48-hour film festivals, like next month, I think. So we'll see if everything works out with that. But yeah, I was supposed to go there, and I've heard about certain parts of Vegas, but it was interesting to me. Like I said, that's I only ask it because like it seems strange to me that your channel is known for mixed race, right? And biracial stuff. That's what you talk about on YouTube, right?
well, of course, yes.
Okay. So you don't really talk about like personal stuff or other things that aren't germane to that. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I try not to because being on
Okay.
social media, I still have like weird, homosexual stalkers who like want to like gather all this information about me and like
Well, see, that's
expose.
why.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there's like you got creeps out here who watch everything
Yeah.
I do. They follow me on Facebook and like they want to gather information on me to like expose me. And I'm like, bro, I'm already transparent. I show my face out here. It's very weird. Like you just have gay upset, and I'm not trying to hate or throw shade or like make a homophobic statement in that regard. There's normal, decent homosexual people, but you do have some homosexual people that are like super obsessed and fixated, and it's very very like, and they're upset with the fact that other men don't like them or they don't want to associate with them, so they want to take it out on like straight men to like expose them of being bad. Like it's very weird. Like you run into these characters in social media. It's very bizarre experience.
Well, yeah, like
Yeah.
I said, I know. See, the reason I asked that is it's not, I don't think it's simply one class of people, but there are all kinds of weird people on social media, like all kinds of. So I thought, okay, I'm only going by what I know of you and your channels. So what I thought was a little odd was this guy's asking you about Vegas, and like, how would he know that you lived in Vegas? Because I don't know that you lived in Vegas.
Oh, well, I know I publicly I think because he emailed me first and told me that he was
Okay.
in Vegas, so I responded to his email and told him, "Yeah, I used to live
Oh,
there. I didn't really
okay.
have the
That
best
makes
time
sense.
there." That's all.
Mhm.
It.
Okay. Oh, that's how you found out. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, how would he know from your channel? Because you don't talk about that. But that makes sense.
So what's going on? What's going on with you, Al? We have a lot we're talking about this evening. The one
Right.
drop rule. And what I want to
Right.
share with you, Al, is I see over on X, there's a very popular trend with white nationalists, white racists over on X,
Hmm.
where they're talking crap about mixed race children. They're trying to say that mixed race children are ugly. So they're literally bold out here. They're publicly attacking the children. I don't
Well,
I don't see many
they're,
people
they're,
talking about it. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, they're. I don't really want, when it comes to people like that, I'm not surprised because they hate people like us, and they hate people of to use the term people of color. They hate anyone that's not like us, and they especially hate us
Well, that's the
because
key.
we're hybrid. Good.
That's the key thing you just said right there. Because we're hybrids, they especially hate us. And I'm trying to point
Right.
out to my audience that it's a fear element as in a political angle. They fear us because the societal dynamics are shifting, where our numbers are growing and our influence in society is growing. You see, like Kamala, other multiracials are being more prominent in society. So they fear that they will not be able to control us to a degree that there's other populations they've been able to maneuver in the past, where things are changing drastically. The laws are changing, technology is changing. They fear us, and they hate us more. I'm not trying to play this victim game where, oh, we have it the worst, because as the other gentleman, the author, the Philip, Philip, the author, I like how he said it. It's like, it's not bad being mixed race. It's not hard. I mean, we do have challenges, but I love being mulatto. I wouldn't want to change it, but we do have
I saw
challenges.
that interview.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I think I haven't been on that panel since the nutcase was there. But yeah, I saw that. Now Philip's been, and he's in biracial groups that I'm on social media,
Yeah.
and so
Same.
I've
Yeah.
seen him there. Yeah, and he's always a nice guy. So I really enjoyed that interview. I have to be honest. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good, solid interview. See, that's the thing that I liked about being in the mixed race spaces on YouTube. I don't know about other spaces. I don't know about other places, but I like being in the mixed race space because there were often we've had conversations that were like that. And you hear about some of these other spaces, people are just attacking into each other and uh, tearing each other apart and doxing one another, and it's craziness. They can't get together and have a decent conversation. But I really liked that conversation. I thought it was a very good one for your channel. And so
Yeah.
if you can get people like that for your channel, I think it's going to be very good for your YouTube channel. Even though I'm critical of YouTube and I got my issues with YouTube. I think interviews with that are very good. I don't know
Yeah.
what the response to that was, but the time that I've dealt with Philip in mixed race groups, he just seems like a nice guy, just very
Yeah.
pleasant person.
Yeah, I told him as well multiple times, and I even in the comments of the video, you can see where I highlighted the fact that he's well respected amongst mulattoes in general, like mixed race people, not just on Facebook or YouTube or even TikTok. Like, he's very much well respected, and that's why I want to give him his flowers. And I'm gonna bring him back on as well. We're gonna dive in more to the one drop rule and other stuff. So I'll bring him back
Mhm.
on shortly.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. He always seemed like a nice guy to me. And again, I only dealt with him in text because I was on Facebook and groups with there. But he always just seemed like a really nice guy. That's all I can say about him. But he always easy to get along with and very. So I like that. It's so refreshing to see someone like that being interviewed as opposed to some of the people, a couple people that used to be in the space. I don't know if I want to say their names, but I couldn't see interviewing people like that. Uh, well, you wouldn't want to anyway, but I'm just saying I couldn't see people like that being interviewed because they're just not nice and they don't really have anything decent to say. But the ODR itself, I was saying this once on a panel. I have to be honest. I never knew about the one drop rule till I was an adult. I wasn't aware of it, and when I found out about it, I just thought it was pure evil. I just found it to be truly evil. I think it's I think it's oppression. I think it's terrible. I remember seeing a comment. I don't know where I saw this comment. It was, I don't know if you've heard of Black Brazil Today. Have you heard of
No,
that channel?
no,
Okay.
sorry, I haven't. No.
Okay. But the guy there, I've been to that channel because occasionally I can't find content about party people in Brazil, which I'm interested in. But you know, so occasionally he does something about it. But he's like one of these monoracials that he has this one drop rule mentality, and he denies that he does, but he basically does, because he's an American that went to Brazil for like 15 years or so. But it's like he doesn't understand the way they do things there. He doesn't understand that they've long had a mixed race population in Brazil for centuries. I mean, I don't know what centuries is a word. I'd say over a century, if not greater than that. Well, 200 years maybe. And they always have been classified and categorized separately. That's Pardo and Brown. And, you know, there was a guy in one, this was about, I forget what this was about, but there was a guy in the chat. He said the one drop rule was good for Black people because it unified, I guess he meant mixed race and Black people to fight for rights or whatever. So this guy thought the stupid one drop rule was a good thing. And unfortunately, what I've realized when I came on mixed race groups like 2010 and I think on, is I realized the impact of the one drop
que
rule.
acham que o movimento pardo prejudica o movimento negro. Aqui nós temos uma disputa de poder e de
I'm sorry, go ahead. You can continue.
Oh, what I was going to say, I didn't want to interrupt the video. It sounds like a woman there who is a Pardo talking about the Pardo movement in Brazil. I don't speak Portuguese.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And so and that's another thing. That's something that irritates me. I really can't find a lot of content about Pardo people. One, I don't speak Portuguese, so maybe they're on TikTok and maybe they're on YouTube, but in Brazil, like
Yes.
Brazilian YouTube.
Portuguese. Yeah. Brazilian circles. Yeah. That's the challenge. The language barrier is what I found, but I built these connections. I mean, I'm focusing more so on Spanish right now for my job, but Portuguese is similar, but we can really build solid connections. And like, if we can bridge that gap with like the Brazilian Pardos, and even like I've already kind of bridged the gap, especially on TikTok with the Dominicans.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I heard that.
You're gonna,
that's the interesting thing about TikTok. I have people from Dominican Republic that follow me on TikTok. I've had that. And I'm like, I don't know where that came from, but like, I'm not Dominican. I'm not Latino or Hispanic or anything. But I have people from Dominican Republic follow me on TikTok. And I think it's cool. I think it's great. But even though I'm not Dominican. So I don't know where it came from, but hey, I welcome it. I think it's great. But it's interesting to me that that exists. But Dominican Republic is a mostly mixed race country. I don't know if this is understood. Like I hear about the whole Dominican not Black thing, and they're like, do people not understand that Dominicans aren't really Black in the Dominican Republic? The vast majority of the population is, I think, mostly mulatto or mestizo, maybe
yes.
mestizo. That's the vast majority of the population. Only a tiny percent, I think it's like 7%, is actually Black in the Dominican Republic. It's a mixed race nation.
Yeah, even because I was in the Dominican Republic about a month ago or a couple
that's right.
months ago. So I was there, and the thing is, you'll see people who you might say, oh, they're Black, like their skin tone is darker skin, but you look at their facial symmetry, you look at their face, like they do not have like Negroid features. So there's clearly some mix there. Like even though they're more so predominantly black, like, but even if it came to America, you'd see like it's interesting. There's a lot of mixed people there that they don't
Right.
have the like Haitian, aesthetic or the
No.
the West
No.
African aesthetic. They're not mostly black. You do have black
Right.
Dominicans. You do have black
Right.
Dominicans, but you also have like darker skin, you can say black Dominicans, but they're clearly have some mixture, something going on there because they look different than like someone
Well, I was
from
curious.
Haiti. Yeah.
You were in you were in the Dominican Republic. Did you get to talk to any mixed race people in the
Oh
Dominican
yeah.
Republic?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
what did you ask about what the racial
No.
politics and the status were like there?
I didn't really, honestly, because it was my first time there in the country. I didn't want to go deep into the politics stuff. I was just doing a
Okay,
tour. I did talk to mixed race people there, women, men and women, but it was just casual conversation. Just,
I see.
oh, where did you learn English? Because my Spanish is not good. I'm learning Spanish, right? But so the
Mhm.
people who kind of knew spoke some English, just casual conversation and stuff like that. I didn't go into any of the racial stuff. I was, a tourist. I'm just like, look, my first time here. I don't want to get into the whole political stuff, right? I'm
No,
not
that makes
comfortable.
sense.
Yeah, I want to have a good
Just enjoy
experience.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, just enjoy yourself. Because there are some political minefields on what I hear in Dominican Republic. Not so much race, that part, but it's more other things. So it seems to me if you go there, just kind of toe the line and mind your business and try to keep yourself safe. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, I had the time of my life. I want to go back to explore a couple other cities like Puerto
Okay.
Plata, and it's a nice country. The thing is, like when I went to Santo Domingo, which is their capital, I mean, I just saw mulattoes everywhere. It was very interesting and very kind of refreshing to see because a lot of us we're not in environments where we see people who kind of
Right.
look like us and represent us on a daily basis, especially here in the United States. Like we're definitely a minority. We're a growing minority, but we don't have any political representation. Most of our celebrities and high profile people, they just identify as monoracial black. So we don't really
Mhm.
have representation or, that's the challenge that we have in this society is we look
It's a
around.
lot of work that needs to be done.
A
It's a
lot of work.
lot of work.
Yeah.
It's just, again, I've said this in the past. You had biracial, mixed race communities and a structure that was there. And that structure has been gone over more than 100 years. So you have to revert not to the exact same structure that you had before, but you have to go back to grouping. You have to go back to construct of a kind of community, and that's what needs to happen. I mean, it happened in the past. Again, I don't know that a lot of biracial people understand, or the black white biracial people understand that. Happened in the past. Again, I cite E. Franklin Frazier's Black Bourgeoisie, which notes the so called mulatto class and what they did and how very different they were. Um, and, again, I think it's something that needs to be people need to understand. It's just that they don't have an understanding of it.
It
But
needs to be, yeah.
you're okay.
I was going to say it needs to be more thoroughly examined, the historical points.
Mhm.
It needs to be more thoroughly examined because they're blackwashing all of the mulatto history to where we don't know what the hell is going on. We don't know how we got here. Like with the one drop rule, the Racial Integrity Act, like we don't know what's been going on. Like our history, and they're
Mhm.
rewriting our history to say it's people of color history to basically hoodwink us and say, oh, well, it's part of black history. Like they're doing everything they can to prevent us mulattoes from organizing, forming our own communities and our own, basically our own communities. Yeah, go ahead.
What's occurred is erasure, because I hear talk about mixed race people being in African American communities as erasure. No, the erasure happens to us. It's happened to us. We have been erased. We've been erased from the history of this country, the United States. We've been erased from the social fabric of this nation. We've been erased from the economic and political aspects. We've been erased. We have been dislocated. We have been, I was going to say annihilated, but not quite the case. We have been rendered invisible.
Yeah, disenfranchised. Yeah, like you said, invisible.
Yes. Yeah.
They want to act like
So
they want to act like we're invisible when our numbers
precisely,
are growing.
it's
Our
like Ralph
numbers.
Ellington's favorite novel. I mean, his only novel, Invisible Man, right? The classic African American novel. But you know who the real Invisible Man is? You and me and all the biracial guys that are out there.
They only accept us if as biracial males, is if we identify as black. Then they kind of acknowledge us, but we're a minority within a minority in that position. They don't respect us having our own autonomy, being our own identity. It's on us to figure it out because the society has already basically positioned us to be subordinates. It's on the men. The men got to get shit together and realize we got to build and organize, period. Does that make sense? Al, if you're still there. Well, look at Renata Mulatta's comment. She puts here, the Dominican Republic is a beacon. I've also received Dominican followers on TikTok. They support the American Mulatto movement. Yeah, most of my followers
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah, I've received a lot of that support from Dominicans in DR because they definitely have a common circumstance where their identity is being challenged and they're people are trying to erase their history, erase their identity. Like there's very similar, there's a lot of congruency when I look at their plight and struggle, the Dominican people and American mulattoes. We could say American mixed people. People prefer that. Like there's a lot of congruency there. So I've connected with I built a lot of connections. Shout out to them. I mean,
Well,
they support.
I'm curious. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt. How are the mixed race people in Dominican Republic seeing some of these aspects? Aren't they the majority? They're the majority statistically in that country, from what I understand. So I don't know how that's being used against them, or how
Yeah.
there's a move to kind of invalidate them when they're the majority in that country. In
Well,
fact, they run the country.
because the Afrocentrics, okay, in American academia, the Afrocentrics, they're using the Haitians to attack Dominicans. The Afrocentrics, and they're using the whole racism and colorism argument. They're weaponizing the Haitians, and they're basically, spilling or pouring oil or gas, I could say, on the fuel, the flame between the conflict of these two border nations of on the island of the Haiti and the DR. So they've had political battles, like they've had like enslavement, they have a long history that I honestly need to do more research on with DR and Haiti. But the Afrocentrics in America, the pro-blacks, and a lot of them are powered by academia, and they are basically pouring fuel and gas on that fire, on that political tensions and turmoil between the two nations. So that the Afrocentrics in America, they are siding with the Haitians to attack and to erase the history of the Dominicans. They're trying to say that Dominicans are racist, that they're colorist. So they're really attacking the Dominican people.
Oh, in the
And
U.S.
but it's the Afrocentrics in the US that are doing that,
Oh, I see.
taking the side of Haiti. They're trying to say the Haitians are victims of Dominican colorism and Dominican racism. I was in the DR. Everyone was nice to me. My Uber drivers, the people at the restaurants. I go to local,
Mhm.
it's a lot of mestizos. That's a mestizo nation, basically. You have
That's what I'm
mulatto.
saying.
So people
That
were nice.
nation is a mixed race nation. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you do have a lot of like Haitian immigrants and stuff, or black, whatever. But like mostly everyone was nice to me. Like I was really like welcome there in the nation. So, but I'm just a
Well, they
tourist,
must know you're mixed race.
and they know I'm a tourist. They know I'm
Well,
American.
yeah, they want your money.
They
So
want the
that's
money.
true.
They want the money, so they know I'm an outsider. But I mean, I didn't see that the negative
But there must
hostility.
have been guys who look like you in the DR.
Yeah, of course, and
Yeah, that's what
there's
I
a lot
mean.
of
So you could
yeah,
fit in fairly well there.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people
So,
who have my aesthetic and phenotype there. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. So what Haiti and Dominican Republic have always had a rivalry there on Hispaniola. So I have nothing against Haiti. So I want to make that very clear. I don't have a problem with Haitians. But Haiti is, as far as I'm concerned, how do I put this politely? How do I put this? It's an African nation, meaning a black nation. It's a predominantly and primarily African nation or nation of African ancestry. It's not, there is a very small mixed race population in Haiti. And historically, this mixed race population were the ones that got, education because of their French ancestors.
the thing is, Al,
Uh,
I wanted to
but
add this. You're right. They're purely African, West African, or Bantu nation, Haiti. They're trying to blur the lines and pretend, and it's the same argument with the one drop rule. They're trying to say because they might have a little bit of French admixture that makes them mixed race. They're trying to say because they got a tiny bit of Taino ancestry, which is not true. They're trying to say that gives them claim to the land, that they're mixed race. When those Haitians, they were brought to the island by French to be slaves. Like they're not from that island. That's what the Dominicans, they have a strong argument in their national identity because they have more Taino blood than the predominantly African Haitians. Right? Because they have more Taino blood, the Dominicans, they're Spanish, but Taino, mestizo, so they can lay claim to the land that they were there first. It's theirs, more sovereignty. So they're really battling it out. And they're using immigration, their very lax immigration policy to basically flood the nation of DR and take advantage of their kind of, hospitality and their good Samaritan value system. But that's the thing, like with the whole, you said that the Haiti, they're a black nation, but the Afrocentrics are trying to claim that they're Latin people. They're not Latin people. There is such a thing as Afro Latino, but those are mixed race people. Those are people who are
no,
mixed
it's
with
very different.
Spanish. But see, you
Yeah.
have people who are purely African or Haiti, or they got a little bit of admixture. They got a negative 10% French admixture. They're trying to say that they're Latins. Like they're trying to blur the lines and muddy the water so much to make everyone confused. That's how they weasel their way in to try to get more influence. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to play that game with them. I see it for what it is.
Well,
Haiti, they're not Latin. They're
no,
it's a Caribbean country.
it's French.
It's a French Caribbean.
The cultural influence in Haiti, the people have French names. They were colonized by the French. They fought a war and killed French armies to get away from the French, but the France is still the predominant cultural influence in Haiti
Isn't that funny though?
because that was the country that colonized it. Go ahead.
Isn't that funny? You said that's the country that colonized them. So the Haitians, they try to act like they're all proud that they fought against the French, the European powers, the colonists, the colonialists. Like they're so proud of their identity,
Mhm.
but they still want to call themselves
Right.
Latin or Latino. But they fought the Latinos to get their independence. So it's a very bizarre mental mind trick they're trying to play. Like which one is it?
Well,
Are they
actually, they
proud?
fought. Well, actually, they fought the French. The French are not Latins. The
Yeah,
French are Gallic, and so
exactly.
the French are like. That's why I say the predominant influence culturally, even to this day, is in Haiti is French. Because here you go to Haiti, everyone there is French names, right? If I were to go to Haiti looking the way I do, nobody would think I'm from Haiti, but I have a French name, so people would at least be able to deal with that. I mean, they probably would be fine with that. But like I said, Haiti is a French influence. The influence in the Dominican Republic is Spanish, deeply Spanish. Like that's a big part of the culture there. And those are two very different cultures.
But they're trying to
France
blur.
and
Mhm.
French and Spanish. Go ahead.
What I was gonna say is they're trying to blur the lines and say, well, French is a Latin language, so they're Latino as well. No, they're
You
not.
gotta be kidding me.
They're trying to say that Haiti is like a Latino nation. No, it's not.
No, it is not. I don't know who's arguing that. There's no
People,
way that Haiti is
Afrocentrics.
a Latino.
There's
There's no
Afros.
way that Haiti is a Latino nation. If
It's
they're
not.
arguing that, if people are arguing it, they're full of crap. I
They're
mean, come
full of
on.
crap. I know they're stupid, but
There's no way that Haiti is a Latino nation.
it's not.
It's not.
It's a
If
black
they were
nation.
colonized by Spain or some South American country, then maybe I could go with that argument. But France is not a Latin nation. France
Yeah,
is a Middle European, Western European nation, and one of the major European nations. So
yeah.
that's a whole kettle of fish. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's just with the Afrocentrics that are in academia who are purposely trying to muddy the waters and blur the lines to cause confusion. This is the type of trickery, the strategy they're using to gain influence over other groups of people. They're trying to make everybody confused to say, we're all the same. Well, we're Latinos just like you. We're just darker skin. Oh, you're a colorist. Like, this is their way to try to fight. Like, you're not the same people. Like, they're
There's no
French,
way they could be
Haitian.
the same people. If you're talking about Dominican Republic is a predominantly mixed race country.
Yes, and
Haiti
Haiti's
is
not.
not.
And Haiti's not.
Right.
Haiti's a black
It's the
country.
opposite in Haiti. It's the
Exactly.
opposite in Haiti. It's probably 70-80% African. And in Dominican Republic, it's 77. I think it's 70+% mixed race. I don't know if it's
Exactly.
pure mulatto or mestizo. I can't remember which, but
Yeah.
so I mean, those are different. Now, I mean, it just like look. I'm gonna try to be kind here. I understand Haiti has been historically mistreated. They had to pay millions of dollars in debt after they fought the French. They were invaded and occupied by the United States. They've gone through a lot of problems. They're the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. So it's a nation with a lot of problems. They paid a steep price for independence. That's what I will say. But the reality is that Haiti is not, they're just very different countries. And it's the way. I don't like empires. I don't like colonization. I don't like imperialism, but I'm a pragmatist. You have to kind of deal with the results of what happened. In the Dominican Republic, it was the Spanish that colonized it. It's also a mixed race place. I mean, I remember watching a documentary or I think it was, what's his name? Henry Gates or whatever his name is. The guy from Harvard. And he was going into like parts of the Caribbean or whatever. And you look at there's some place where they have the statues of all these political leaders in the Dominican Republic. And I'm going, these guys look a little like me. Not entirely, but they look a little like me. If I were to go to Haiti and I mean, the only thing that I would have in common in Haiti is I might look like the mixed race elite in Haiti. The people that got educated and had the property and had to a certain degree the money.
And
You know,
in that environment, when it's like mostly black in that environment, they would just identify you as being white. They wouldn't even say you're mixed race. They would just say, "Oh, you represent the white group." Because a lot of those Haitians, when they rebelled, they attacked the mulattoes in the mulatto class
oh
because
right, they
they
had
looked
was it the War of the Knives or something like that? I remember
right.
something like that happened in
Yeah,
Haiti.
precisely, and that's the thing. like they will basically just label you as being white or the oppressor or the colonizer, and they'll attack you. So it's a very sensitive topic and subject I do want to get into more in the future, but it's not really my lane. I mean,
Well,
the
that's
Dominican.
dangerous for mixed race people. Anytime they start saying you're a buffer class
Yeah,
or
they're
you're a
trying to attack you.
functionary or Europeans, what they're saying is that you're a target
You're the
and
enemy.
they can't trust you.
Yeah.
Yeah, precisely. You're the enemy. So when I hear that talk, and this is why I try to say, I know there are mixed race people, and I try to tell these people, not tried, but I've kind of said this on groups. I said, there are mixed race people who don't want to be mixed. When I say mixed race, black, white, biracial, they don't want to be biracial. They're not comfortable with it. I can understand the society. America does not make it comfortable. On one hand, I do have sympathy. But on the other hand, I say, well, you have to understand that once you decide to go monoracial, that you have to take the sweet with the sour, the good with the bad. And I think you had this on your panel, the lady that went into the beauty store. Now, I don't know, what she considers herself or whatever, but she got attacked by the African American women. And I haven't heard stories precisely like that, but I've heard stories from mixed race women over the years. So when that happened, it was like, this is exhibit A. And and so I say, well, you have to take, how do I put this? If you want to be considered a black person, you're going to have to take possible abuse from black people. Because there will be black people who do not want you around.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when you look at someone like Chancellor Williams, who wrote that book, and what he says about mixed race people, there are people on YouTube who go around quoting Chancellor Williams. This isn't some completely obscure individual who nobody knows and nobody's talking about. There are people talking about this guy in his book on YouTube. And they're using it as a battering ram, or they're using it as a weapon, and are weaponizing hate against mixed race people. And that's one of the reasons I've always tried to tell people, you can do what you want, but it's harder to try to fit into one community and one community standards and dealing with one community of people than it is to just be on your own and deal with whatever community you want to, and just stick to who you are, because you pay a price for that. Again, I'm looking this objectively because I haven't had this problem, but that's all I can say. People have to make their decisions. You made your decision, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know that I made a decision. I just lived my life. But you got to understand, there are people that hate you.
Yeah, there's people
I
that
know
hate.
it's unfair. I know it's unfair. I know it's not just to say it, but I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's just life, it's part of this process. It's part
Yeah.
of what we call life, yeah. And this woman was hated on just for being mixed, and in the beauty supply store. I just found out that Cher
Mhm.
actually has a song called Half Breed. Do you know that? Cher, the artist.
Yeah, I know. I think she's mixed race herself, I think, to an extent. Yeah, I've heard of that song. It's not a song I like. I don't care for that song. I like
Oh,
Cher, but I don't like that song.
she says, "My father married a pure Cherokee. My mother's people were ashamed of me. The Indians said that I was white by law." So she's mixed, part Indian, native, and part white. That makes sense. The artist Cher. She's more of your generation, right? She's older. I mean, I'm a
Right.
millennial, so. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
used to see the Sonny and Cher show, so yeah.
yeah, man. I appreciate you hopping up here on the panel. I'm gonna end things
Ah,
now. It's getting super late.
okay.
I always appreciate.
Yeah, I see that. I do have one more thing to bring up, and
Sure.
I would rather not do this, but because of what's happened recently, I feel like I've got to bring this up.
Go ahead.
Do you know anyone by the name of uh, Building My Future 100?
Yeah, I don't want to give him any promo because he's a clout chaser.
Okay,
I can
all right.
sum it up for you. I've been watching everything that's been going on, Al, just so you're aware.
Okay,
But
okay.
the guy, he's what you call a wannabe. He's a wannabe,
Mhm.
and he doesn't like the fact that you support me, my channel, or anybody's. He doesn't like anyone who supports my channel. And for him, he's a wannabe, right? He's black identified. He basically serves black people and he hates mixed people, even though he's mixed. And he suffers from severe abandonment issues. Like he grew up in the foster care system. He never met his white family. I believe his father's white. He grew up around his black mom for a while, but then she put him up for adoption. So he has severe abandonment issues. He has severe issues with building relationships with people because you'll notice a pattern with his behavior. Anybody
I see.
anybody who's cool with him, anybody who supports him, who's friendly with him, he sabotages the relationship with them. And he does that with everybody. I've been analyzing him for like a year now. Because when I first found his channel,
Mhm.
I put a comment on one of his videos. I was like, "Hey, I like what you're doing," because he was challenging pro-blacks. I thought he was a normal guy. I told you social media, it brings out a lot of weirdos.
Yep, you're
And
right. I mean, I've seen this myself. I've seen
that's
this myself.
that's the thing with
Go
this
ahead.
guy. I'm saying with this guy, like when I first saw him, I subscribed, and I like supported the channel. I was like, okay, this seems like a normal dude. Like, and I'm happy that he kind of woke up and realized that pro-black people who are pro-black are inherently anti-mixed race, right? But something happened, like, after several weeks, he, like, immediately turned on me and, like, started, like, trying to clout chase and put videos. I was like, "This is weird behavior. How the hell are you gonna act like you're cool with me, but then out of nowhere, you're gonna start slandering me, talking crap?" So I just sat back and watched, and I saw him do it with another content creator, The Future is Golden. And now he's doing it with another,
Mm,
like, there's a pattern of behavior with this guy. Like,
you
he has
know that
severe abandonment because he was
I
basically
see.
set up for adoption as a kid. So he cannot build relationships with people. He has an issue building friendships and relationships with people. He has severe mental health issues. So he jumps on the internet and pretends like he's cool with people only to turn around and look at them as an enemy. That's what you're witnessing right now. It's unfortunate.
Right.
Yep.
So the reason I'm glad that you said all that. The reason I mentioned this guy's name, and I'm not going to mention his name again. The reason I did this is I got a comment on my promo because I have a film podcast. I just did my 7th episode, and so I promote my podcast on this channel, on my defunct other channel. And somebody had written on a comment. I don't know that I want to give the guy's name. I don't know if he's comfortable with me saying
Please,
his name,
please,
his
please
channel.
don't. Please don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to
So
give
I
him. Yeah.
right. So I don't want to. I won't say this guy's channel. I don't know his name. I don't know the guy. He said this. I'll just call him uh, BMF. BMF as doing a video mentioning you. Now, let me make this very clear. The reason why I'm talking about this is I was warned by this guy who knew BMF and said this guy's talking about you in a video, and he provided the link, and I saw the link. And this guy BMF calls me out now and says, "Oh, I don't look mulatto. I don't look biracial. I don't look mixed race." Now, I have to be brutally honest. I've never dealt with anything like this before or went through this before. So I don't have people coming up to me and saying, "You do not look like a mixed race person," right off the bat. Now, I don't know if they may say, "Well, you don't really look black." It's a possibility, but and so this guy who I do not know, let me make that very clear. This BMF, I have never heard of this guy. I didn't know him. I never spoke to him. I never spoke about him. I didn't say anything to or about this man. Just so that it's very clear. I didn't say anything about this man. I don't know him. He starts saying this stuff about me and The Future is Golden and I guess others. And it sounds to me like this guy isn't mad at me, but he's mad at the people in the mixed race spaces. Now, when I was in the mixed race spaces, which was about last year? I think it was for a year.
You're still
I
kind
never
of in,
saw this guy.
you're still kind of in the spaces though, right?
No, I'm not. This is the only panel that I've gone to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm not there. That was
He's
a
not
weird
mad
thing.
He's not mad at you. He's mad at
Yeah,
the fact that you are cordial with me and The Future is
right.
Golden. And because
That's
we've
yeah.
rejected
Right.
him. We've rejected him because we know
Mm-hmm.
you're on camera. Like I'm on camera. Like we know what you look like.
Yeah,
But that
precisely.
guy, he's barely ever on camera. Like most of the
That's
time.
that's precisely my point. So this guy goes on camera and says, "Well, how come the Al show doesn't he doesn't look mulatto, he doesn't look mixed race. Why doesn't he prove it?" This is coming from a guy who doesn't show himself on camera. His lives are shaky phone cams showing whatever ghetto neighborhood he lives in or whatever country hick town he's from or whatever. And so that is what he calls content. This is what he considers a video. Going out there at, I don't know, 7 or 8 o'clock at night and lights in the distance, ranting and raving about things. That's not content. That's craziness. I
Yeah,
mean,
he's a
what's go ahead.
he's pathetic, you know. Like
I,
he's a lost soul. He doesn't know where he fits in society, and he's really pathetic, man. He burns his bridges at everybody who tries to be cool with him. He stabs him in the back. He's got severe
right.
mental illness, like that, and he sees my numbers and my engagement, so he's really trying to clout chase off me. He's been doing it for the
But
past year. So
okay. So what I'm saying is this. I've never met the man. I never came across him when I was in the mixed race spaces. I never saw him anywhere. So when he mentioned my name, I'm like, okay, I guess he knows my channel. Well, it used to be my channel. But why are you angry at me? What did I do to you? I don't know you. He's not really mad at me. He's just mad because, as you mentioned, other people must be rejecting him. And that was very clear to me that the mixed race spaces aren't comfortable with him. Well, I looked at his videos and his videos suck. They're crap. I mean, like, who wants to see your little ghetto neighborhood or wherever you're from? I mean, nothing against Louisiana, I guess, where he is, but like, if you're going to go and say that I don't look mixed race or what have you, put your face on camera. Are you a man or a mouse? Show yourself. You can't tell me I need to prove anything. I don't have to prove shit to you. I don't. Like, I was in a mixed race space for a year. When I did videos, which I don't anymore, when I did lives, which I don't, I was on camera. People could see me.
right.
If anyone wanted to say comments like this guy, They had free reign to do so. I never heard from content creators. I never heard from anyone.
And
But
what
this
also,
guy, go ahead. Go ahead.
what I was just going to say quickly is that, like, I'll vouch for you as well, because I seen comments that you put in biracial mixed race pages on Facebook, like from a
Hmm.
few years ago, way
Hmm.
before I ever started uploading content. So you've been
That's
in
true.
these spaces way before me. I saw it
Right.
on Facebook. I saw the timestamp. Like, you were engaged in these discussions on Facebook way before me. I've only been doing this for 2 years,
Right.
right?
Over
So
your channel. Right. That's right.
you've been doing this
Well,
stuff before
oh
me.
yeah,
So
I've been
what?
on
Yeah.
biracial. I've been on biracial social media groups for over a decade. Over a decade. So I'm like, the thing that baffled me was this. I'm not around the biracial spaces. I'm not there anymore. I left in 2023. I had a good time. I thought it was all right, fairly well treated, but I decided to move on. And, I'm doing other things. Like I said, I got my film podcast, I got my digital newsletters, I got my writing stuff. I'm busy with that. And I'm not in those spaces. And I'm going, I don't even make biracial content. I don't make content, period. So I'm going, if I had a presence, like if I were doing a channel like this, like your channel, I could then understand why you would do this stupidity and try to call me out. But I don't have any of that. I'm going, why did you just take my name and put it out there like that?
He's
Like I'm
looking
not
for,
around.
because
Go ahead.
he tried to clout chase off me, but I've
Hmm.
thoroughly embarrassed him. I've demolished him to the point where he was talking about he wants to get an attorney to sue me. He even said he wanted to meet me in public and fight me. Like, I've destroyed him so thoroughly that where, like, he doesn't know how to handle me. If he does video for video or post for post with me trying to clout chase off me, I'll destroy him easily. So that's why he's trying to talk about going to an attorney or trying to fight me in public. So he's trying
Right.
to find people to go back and forth with. This is his
Right.
ghetto black
I call it
American
conflict
savage.
chasing. I call it
Yeah,
conflict chasing,
he's
like cloud
trying to
chasing.
find, yeah, it's the clout chasing, conflict chasing. He's trying to find people to fight and go
Right.
back and forth with. Because with me,
Precisely.
he didn't get the results he wanted with me. I'm just too smart for him. So he was
Yeah,
trying.
he has a thing against you. I tried looking up his. Sorry to interrupt you. I tried looking up his videos for research because I didn't know this guy. I want to continue to say this. I don't know this man. I never knew this guy. I'm trying. There's a part of me that wants to really go after this guy, and there's a part of me that's trying to be sympathetic because I heard what you said about him, and I kind of heard also
He was
the way
abandoned as
he.
a kid. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
and
was
I
abandoned.
I understand there's pain with a number of biracial people,
Yeah, he's
and it's what's
suffering.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. There's a part of me that just doesn't want to go after this guy because I feel a little sorry for him. I really do, and I just don't want to do this. But like
Me
it's
too.
like Sylvester Stallone said in First Blood. That's what I feel like the situation. I feel like I'm in that movie. Like you drew First Blood, dude. You can't go and mention my name, and then he has the nerve to say I disrespected him because I guess I said I was going to teach him some manners.
Well, he
I'm like,
makes up crap. He makes up stuff.
right.
He concocts stories in his head to try to give himself some justification to, like, beef and clout chase and go back and forth with people. He was trying to say that, like, he made up a lie trying to say that I went over on Rumble to look up this one of his, like, femcel buddies. I'm not going to mention her name, but
Oh, right. I
she
was
has a
looking at a
Rumble.
video because I went because I didn't
I'm
know the
like,
guy. I went and I looked at least 5 or 6 just to get a sense of it. And there was
yeah,
one with you.
hmm
I guess you were tagged or something.
yeah.
And yeah, he said you had all this time in the day and you were on, I don't know, I guess social media, whatever.
I got a 9 to
And
5. You know, like I don't know. I'm working
not
it.
according to BMF. Uh,
Yeah. But
apparently,
he's
I guess you're at home all day
yeah.
online, nothing better to do. I guess those
Man,
cash apps must be good for you, Mulatto Vanguard, or
yeah,
however
right.
you're making money.
Well, he was trying to say that like
Yeah,
he
I don't know.
concocted
that's what
he
that's what he's
he
saying.
lies about crap because he was trying to say that I like was stalking somebody on Rumble or some crap. Like, how the hell did he get that information? Where the hell's the proof? Like anybody can lie on social media. It's like, well, where's the proof? Where's the
Well,
sources and citations? Like
on Rumble,
he was trying to say I was
on
stalking
Rumble,
on I have a Rumble account, a Mulatto Vanguard Rumble.
right? Don't you need to sign up for that?
I never even use it. I never go on there. I don't have the time to do that. Like I got to be on X or Twitter or Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. I don't have
Well,
time
yeah,
for all
because
this
those are
crap.
easier.
And I got a Discord and Facebook. Like I got to stay
Yeah.
connected to all the socials. I don't have the Rumble is just like
Yeah, I
in
mean,
the
I have to
back.
do that to promote
What
my
he's
writing work.
lying.
I
This
gotta
guy
upload stuff on all of those kind of
the
platforms.
platforms, yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. God, that's a
well,
whole other story.
to keep up with it, it's very kind of time consuming, but that's
It
why
is.
people who are more kind of seasoned content creators, they hire like, social media managers that will
Yes.
basically schedule all their content for them. I'm not at that stage.
Yeah.
I'm just a one man
No.
show, but I utilize
No.
all the platforms. But what I'm saying is that this guy, this deranged guy, like he tried to lie and concoct a false story saying that I followed one of his femcel buddies over on Rumble. When I heard him say that, I just laughed and giggled. What a complete friggin' lie. Like I
Like
have the
this
time to
guy,
do that. I have the
right?
time to go over on Rumble and fall. It's just so weird, but he
I
does that.
got the feeling that because again, I looked this guy up because I didn't know him, and I said, okay, what is his content like and all that. He just seems like I mean, he literally had a video where he said he'd rather be pro-black than pro-mixed race.
He's a
The
wannabe.
title
He's
of
a
one of his
wannabe.
videos.
He's a
And
wannabe.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm going, if that's how you feel, and he has all these videos bashing the quote golden sphere or golden people or mixed race people. So here's what I don't understand. If you think that you'd rather be pro-black than pro-mixed race, and if you don't like mixed race spaces, what in the hell do you care whether I look mixed race or not, or I look mulatto or not, or I look black/white or not? Why does that matter to you? That's what I don't get. Well, I don't get it because it's stupid and illogical. But see, he's a hypocrite. This is a guy who actually has a video that states, unlike some folks, I like to showcase my mistakes. Obviously, you do, because you made a mistake by mentioning my channel and me.
Yeah,
And
right.
everything you seem to put on your channel in terms of content is a mistake.
His
You're
content is
walking
garbage.
down, you're walking down streets with the shaky cam. Looks like, I don't know, you're making a sequel to Evil Dead. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But that is a mistake. The fact that you can't cam up, but you want other people to prove that they're mixed race because you believe that there are non-mixed race people inhabiting the mixed race spaces. I guess he likes the movie They Live by John Carpenter because it sounds like something like that. You believe in that. You believe that there are all these non-mixed race people in the mixed race spaces, but you yourself don't want to show us what kind of mixed race person you
You know,
are.
he's confused because he even says he's not a part of the mixed race space. He's not a part of the golden sphere. He doesn't like the golden sphere, but he's still trying to dictate to people who needs to cam up and this and that. He's confused, and it's
He's
too easy.
confused.
It's too
He's
easy
confused
to
and
roast him.
angry. Like
He's
the guy
angry
is bitter and angry, and
because he's
it's like, look,
rejected.
dude,
He's
right,
rejected.
but I didn't reject you, dude.
Well,
I didn't
mixed
have
race
anything to
women,
do with that.
the mixed race women, biracial women have rejected him his whole life. And he's black identified. He's a wannabe, right? He'd rather be pro-black than pro-mixed. So he has a hard time dealing with the fact that his whole identity is being pro-black, but black people, a lot of them are very anti-biracial. So he has anger trying to live with that reality. So he thinks that he's going to get a passport and go to the DR and like solve and run away from all his problems. He's
So
going to have
didn't he?
more.
Wait a minute. Didn't he attack you for going to the DR?
Yeah, exactly. Because he's jealous. Because
So
he
wait
can't
a minute.
afford to travel. He can't afford to
He
travel. So he's
wait a
jealous of
minute.
me.
Wait a minute. He's making a video. I think he made a video or two about you, bashing you, saying you're up to no good in the Dominican Republic. But this guy wants to get a passport and go to
Yeah.
Dominican Republic or some other place. You
Yeah, he was trying
hypocritical
to.
ass.
Yeah, he's just a sad case.
He's a
He's just
hypocrite.
that's what I'm saying. It's too easy. It's to me, like you said, I'm like you, kind of. I pity him. He's too easy. It's not like I'm not going to get any
Yeah.
wins. That's why I never tag him. I don't give his channel
Right.
any
He
promotion
tags you. I know that. I see that he tags you definitely.
yeah,
I saw it in the video. I mean, you had your name there. I'm like,
I'm gonna
oh,
be
he's
real.
tagging him.
We're about at the 3-hour mark. I'm already
Okay, good.
exhausted and bored talking about the guy. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
I
just a
had to
loser.
address it. I had to address it because
Yeah.
this guy was like, this guy seems obsessed with you. I gotta just say this from what little content. I'm not saying every video he's made is about you. I don't think that's the case, but this guy seems obsessed with you for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's
Go
not
ahead.
that he doesn't like you, Al. It's that he really doesn't like me, but he knows if he challenges
Mhm.
me, I'll defeat him at everything. So, and I've already dealt with him, but he still like wants to basically, get dealt with. But then he'll find other people in the meantime to kind of start crap with. It's kind of like a warm up or something. He'll go to the future is gold and he'll go to you. Then he'll
Yeah,
turn
you
back
was a problem
around.
with her. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pathetic, sad case, and everyone knows it. But you got like the town drunk and other people who try to manipulate him, you know.
The town drunk.
But I'm gonna end it
Wow.
here. I'm gonna end
Yeah.
it here. Yeah.
I don't. I gotta say though, to the guy who let me know, thank you very much. I'm sorry that this guy BMF cut you off and mistreated you. You didn't deserve to be treated that way. I think you were only trying to be polite and try to help me out and let me know. And this guy, BMF, treated this guy like trash. And they were friends. And so what you said is probably true.
Yeah, I heard they were friends for like 2 years. They were friends for
I
a long
know.
time.
It was terrible. And this guy was defending me. I don't know who this guy is. But
Yeah.
when we've talked about in comments, but this guy defended me, and it's like, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciated that. What you're saying about this guy, I tend to believe it. I don't know the whole story. I don't know everything, but in terms of the way he treats people, I tend to believe what you're saying because
Yeah.
of the way he treated this man. I was disgusted by it.
Yeah. His
He
own
didn't
friend,
deserve.
his biggest
He
supporter,
didn't deserve that.
his
I
biggest
mean, I really was offended by it.
his
I
biggest
was really
supporters.
offended.
He'll turn on his biggest supporters. Like that's a clear case of like abandonment issues, like he suffers like he was abandoned as a kid, and a lot of biracial people suffer from that. They don't have an identity. They identify as
Yeah,
just black. They
I've
hate
seen that.
themselves. They hate being mixed race. It's very sad, and he's a case of that tragic case. But yeah, thanks for
At that, yeah. And the one thing I just want to say at the end, this has been hard to look at. because I think that the guy who warned, who let me know about this video, I think he was only trying to be polite. I think he seems like a nice guy. I don't know anything about him, but um, I, the whole situation to me just leaves a very bad taste in my mouth. And I wish this guy had never mentioned my name or anything. I'm not in the biracial spaces. I don't do biracial content. I come up here sometimes and I talk. That's it. But look, just don't do this. If you got problems, guy, get some therapy, get some help. Seriously. But you don't need to go after people, and you don't need to treat people who are friendly to you this way, because you'll need those people later on in your life. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. And so I don't know. It's a sad situation. It's just a sad situation. I hated bringing this up, but I had to talk about it because I'm like this. Yeah, I apologize for talking about this, but this guy mentioned me out of the blue. I don't want something like this to happen, but it did happen. And I'm not going to allow somebody to go and spread lies about me and try to. He said I disrespected him. How are you going to say I'm not biracial and mixed race and I don't look mulatto or whatever? And you don't think that's disrespectful? Really? That's the ultimate disrespect. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I just
thank you.
I appreciate
But thanks
you
for the
hopping on.
information. I appreciate what you said about him and everything. I think you put it into context. So thanks for that.
Yeah, a lot of biracial suffer from what he's suffering from, right? And I mean, if someone challenges you, we're men, so we're definitely gonna, fire back and respond back. But some people, you kind of pick your battles, and some people you look at them, kind of pity them, and realize, I don't get anything dealing with this character, so I'll do some
It's
response.
hard.
I'll do
It's
response
hard
videos.
for me. I reached a point where I was like, I don't want to go after this guy. I really just don't.
It's too easy.
Because I understand he's hurting. I understand he's hurting. I can see it, and I just don't want to do it. Thank you anyway. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Talk to you next time. Yep.
All right.
Peace. All right, guys, it's been 3 hours here. I hope you guys found some value with the content with the live stream. I know that kind of last half right there, we kind of went into some, uh, you know, we call in-group politics within some of the kind of, mulatto spaces per se discussions. Maybe some people who are outsiders or not mulatto specifically, they don't know, we're leaving out a lot of stuff. I'm trying not to give some people clout. There's, your social media. There's a lot of weirdos, a lot of people who have unhealed, unresolved trauma. And if they see a guy like me who's very brash, assertive, kind of talking my shit, and I've been able to kind of get some little minute numbers here, this is nothing. None of my shit's even monetized. I don't care. Like I'm reaching mulattoes, and that's serves its purpose, right? The money will always be there. And so I'm certain that the function here is to serve, make sure mulattoes get this information. I'm accomplishing that. And with that, with some numbers, kind of get it growing. And there's people who are kind of jealous. There's people who feel like they should be in my position, and they feel like I'm privileged because I grew up with a mom who cared about me and they didn't. It's very interesting. So that's what we have to deal with sometimes. So, we were kind of chopping up, me and Al talking about that. Some of you guys might be out of the loop. That's fine. The other stuff we talked about, the one drop rule, which is going to be something we're going to talk about for a long time until we basically permanently demolish this notion that the one drop rule still applies today when it does not. We have to continuously drill in people's heads that the weaponization of the one drop rule against mulattoes is going to cease to exist as long as I have a voice up here on social media. We also talked about this guy, what's his name? Elijah Schaffer, who was talking hella crap about mixed kids. Specifically, they're attacking the kids. But you see them all hugged up with the Fresh and Fit and Sneeko and all these mixed people. It's just a whole shit show. A whole shit show. But we got to talk about it. I'm here to talk about it. I appreciate you guys. It's been a long one, 3 hour stream. Those of you hanging out with me, I know Renata Mulatta, I appreciate you a lot. Much respect to you and everybody else out here. And I'll catch you guys soon. All right. So sayonara.